just pulled the video straight off YouTube, and just get the audio from there now. So
cool.
All right, we'll do it in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back, everybody. This is Mark 60 of the Super Civil Servants podcast. My name is Greg, and it's been about 25 years since I've seen Temple of Doom. Watch today. It holds up. Really holds up well. Great movie.
Spoiler alert.
To talk about it. Yeah, well, it's in the title.
Spoiler alert.
It's in the title. But last or first, I can't remember. I guess it's going to come out on the first weekend of the month. So it's going to be our movie review, and we are continuing with Indiana Jones. We got a good crew with us tonight. Starts off with Nathan. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good, Donatello. How you doing tonight?
Doing all right. I have Michelangelo on the other side. I decided to go down.
Wow.
Yeah, it's reversible.
Is Donatello your favorite? Who's your favorite?
Probably Raphael, to be truly honest with you.
Raphael.
He's my favorite.
I think Raphael's the first action figure that I had.
Yeah, he's a badass. But I love them all. And there you go. You here, Lisa? How you doing this evening?
Hey, how are you?
Doing fantastic. We got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Oh, a lot of stuff. Chris, what's going on, buddy?
I'm doing good, man. Looking forward to it. Just living it up, living the dream, man. It's your world, Greg. I'm just living it right now.
I hear you. And welcome Sarah to my world. Then, how you doing, Sarah?
I'm doing well. I have family visiting, so if you see like a random person walk behind me, just pay no mind to behind the screen. So.
Gotcha.
Wait,
no attention to people behind you.
Yeah, just you might see one of the kids come pop up, but they might be entertained. So we got the dartboard up, so everybody's out in the garage. So
I hear you. Dartboard's always fun.
Everybody's in the garage. Sarah's here.
yeah, absolutely, because I love you guys.
Aww.
Definitely the place to be. Well, all right. Well, we're continuing our Indiana Jones tribute movie review type deal. So we're going to go ahead and start with Temple of Doom, and I can't start anything off talking about Dr. Jones without getting this man's opinion first. So Chris, what's up, man? Just overall thoughts. I know you love this movie.
Walk
we'll
us
do
through
overall
it.
thoughts, and then we'll start
Walk
into
you
the
through.
movie.
Walk us through it, Chris.
Walk you through it. Okay, we're just gonna do the
Frame by frame.
We're just lean back, and I'm gonna put a little movie screen for you right there.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably edges out Crystal Skull as one of my least favorite ones. At that point, Crystal Skull is at the bottom, but it's Indiana Jones. I do
like child abuse and stuff.
Well,
Harmful stereotypes.
Right, like come on, what are we talking about? Okay,
the 80s. What can we say? Nothing mattered.
Exactly.
Nothing mattered. I still love Short Round.
It's one of those things that I initially, when I saw it, I never knew it was a prequel until I started putting, watching. Oh, this takes place before that. Pay attention. It's an interesting movie in the sense of, it. I don't know. You look at the mysticism that it brings out is a whole different kind of idea. Pulling hearts out of chests. Mystical rock. We got mystical religious rocks at that point. I'm sorry, Kate Capshaw. I just, I'm sorry. I'm glad you met Steven at that point. I'm glad that worked out. I did like some of the Easter eggs. Did you all catch the Obi-Wan Club?
Oh.
I believe that's the name of the club that they're performing in. I have to check that out while I'm here, but I'm almost positive about that. But it's just a fun movie. It's a fun movie. That's what I can say about it. It's fun. Just suspend your belief, but it definitely. I have yet to meet a person that says it's their favorite, though. I'm not saying they don't exist. I would love to meet you all and have you sell it, but I've never met someone who puts it top of the list. But a fun movie. It's Indiana Jones. You can't go wrong. I think what I like more about this movie is he's got more one-liners in this movie than I think in Raiders. I think one of my favorites is they're getting crushed in when he's getting all obsessed with not wanting to touch the bugs. As we are going to die.
Yeah. See, that's crazy, man. I mean, I'm not nearly as in tune with Indiana Jones as you guys are. Like I said, these movies, I haven't seen in forever, and I liked them as a kid, but they weren't my favorites. And just honestly watching this one and then watching the first one, was it Raiders of the Lost Ark, I kind of enjoyed this one a little more, just personally.
Okay.
But I mean, maybe it's because I feel like I've been rushed watching these. When I watch these, I'm trying to watch them as close as I can to the podcast so I can remember them really well. And I'm both times I've been doing.
Is
it,
that
I've
what
gotten
we're
off
going
work
with
late,
instead
and
of
I've
just
gone really short.
procrastination?
Yeah, well, yeah, that's the best way to do it, man. I love cramming right before the test.
Keep it fresh.
I
Keep
just
it fresh.
want to know the narrative that we're following.
But I've been getting off late the last 2 Friday nights we've done this, and I've been watching it or listening to it while I'm driving, and while I'm at work, and then I get home and I'm still watching it while I'm doing everything, while I'm fixing dinner and everything else. I'm watching the movie, so maybe that's why if I sat down and focused on them a little more, I might see what you're saying. But I don't know. For me, it just felt like this one was more. It pulled me in more. I didn't want to turn away from it. I wanted to see what happened next. And when I watched the last one, there was times where I could just kind of set it down and be like, okay, I'll listen to it, and if something exciting happens, I'll check it out.
That's how I like to watch my movies is by listening to them.
Definitely got it.
It's
Definitely
savage.
got that confirmed. It is Club Obi-Wan.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
Nice,
cool.
nice.
What about y'all?
I still every time I watch these movies, it wasn't something I put in super regularly, but I always saw them all growing up.
Yeah.
And I love all. I don't love all of them, but like Chris said, I think if I gotta put them in order, I go 3, 1, 2, 4. If I gotta rank them. But I really like this movie, and I know looking through it through the 2020 lens and okay, it's got a little stuff going for it, but I don't look through it that lens. I guess I look through it with nostalgic lens, and I still enjoy the shit out of it, and it's still a movie that I can remember. And I didn't realize how offensive Short Round was, because when I was younger, I was like, yeah, Short Round, I want to be with Dr. Jones too. Can I be the kid? And then watching it as you get older, and he's getting beat and stuff and whipped, and I'm like, oh god, they're just whipping the shit out of him. I'm like, man, I didn't remember all this. I don't know. I enjoy the movie. Like I said, I just look at it through that when I was growing up. I can still get joy out of it. But yeah, gotta acknowledge that there's some little stuff in there that's you go, whew, that we're looking through it at it nowadays.
Yeah. What about you, Lisa?
So I think I agree with Chris in that, the first movie and the third movie they always blend into one movie for me. When I try to remember my favorite scenes, I'll pick from both movies, and I just really enjoy them as a complete story. As a child, Temple of Doom was awesome. I loved it. Indiana Jones has a sidekick that's a child. I was a child. That was wonderful. As an adult, I still would adopt him, as I've said many times. I don't want to have children, but Short Round is so adorable that I would consider it. But yeah,
did you pose that to him on Twitter? See if he'll still let you adopt him?
Older than me. But there are a lot of issues. The Indian food and the way the Indian people are portrayed is pretty bad, and was even a problem then. But aside from that, it is a fun movie, and I do enjoy watching it. I would be lying if I said that I didn't go back and watch it, many times. I have. Willie is extremely unfortunate, I think, because Steven Spielberg was going through a divorce and he was angry at women, I guess, and he wrote a really horrible character and yet marries this person.
People. That's not a symbol for divorce, is it?
They argue the entire movie, and it's unpleasant, and it's not romantic, and I just can't help but feel like there's something going on there.
She screams a lot. She screams a lot.
She screams, she cries, she's really spoiled, she has zero empathy. It's weird. They should have given her an arc where she learned a lesson or something, but she looks fantastic in that dress and that first number. I adore the opening number by a lot. And I love Indiana Jones, so essentially Indiana Jones can do no wrong. So even though I don't really love this one as much as the others, and even though it does have its problems, as Chris said, many movies in the 80s did, I still really appreciate it. And, respect if you don't want to watch it, but, my best friend growing up had the Temple of Doom poster on her wall, and it was in regular rotation at our house, so, yeah.
You gotta complete the trilogy when you watch it. You gotta watch all three. You can't skip one.
What about you, Sarah?
I mean, I pretty much don't really have too much to add. I mean, I completely agree with everybody. it's one of those movies where whenever I think of Temple of Doom, I automatically think of, like I said, the heart and the chest, and that's automatically because as a kid watching that, you're just like
terrifying.
It's like just, but it's so cool. You're just like, oh my god,
why PG-13 movies came about.
Yeah,
exactly.
it started PG-13 movies. Yeah,
and it was like the complete. I think what's so different about this one, where if you're comparing it to Raiders versus Temple of Doom, Raiders gives you more of an introduction. So Indiana is a little more mysterious. You're kind of like, oh, you're a little more introduced to them, or you're getting that introduction. So when you come into Temple of Doom, it's like, bam, right in your face. Because, I mean, like you have that number, and then when, like the title sequence and all that, yeah, that's pure 80s. But that's like the Indiana Jones. So it jumped quite right in it. So, because basically you pretty much know Indiana's personality and his suaveness and poison right off the bat. You're like, okay. So, I mean, I think that's pretty cool. I've always thought it was like a cool transition from where Raiders was, like I said, the introduction into Temple of Doom, where it's kind of like, okay, we're going to jump straight into it. If you don't know the beginning, we're going to slap you right in the middle and let's roll. So, and I completely agree with about Willie. Yeah, that even now you're just like, really? Come on, lady. Get it together. But, you know, it's like that typical damsel in distress, unfortunately.
She was the mega damsel.
Yeah, I mean, if there's going to be a situation this lady was going to get into, she was going to be in it, say something snarky, and scream, and that was the end of it.
Well, that's how I live my life. Is that not the right way?
yeah.
For me, the whole time I was watching her, I was wondering, why is she even there?
Exactly.
At
like,
a certain point, what is she even there for? Like, why
her.
wouldn't you just drop her off and be like, okay, you stay here, I'm going to go do this? Like, I
You obviously aren't as capable as Marion was, so I understand why we keep Marion around. Marion's a BA. So.
But yeah, because she's the shit. And like, yeah, you go from her to like this, and you go, what the hell happened?
That scene where he says, "You're embarrassing me in front of all these people," like that. Honestly, is chilling. Like, it's disturbing. It feels too real to me. In this like fun movie, I'm like, yikes.
That was
like,
really Harrison Ford saying that.
That's exactly what I was about to say.
Yeah, he was like, "This is bringing the movie down." Can we not?
And Steven was like, "That's excellent.
Let's just stick with it." Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
All right, so y'all have kind of those thoughts about the movie. It's. I did not know until you just told me just now, or said it just now, that it was a prequel to the first one.
Yeah, technically.
Just never knew that. But let's get into some key points, some stuff we loved about it. And
I still want a whip because that's what I love. I still want to just have a whip and just go out and just whip the shit out of things and swing from trees and all kinds of stuff with it.
Nathan,
every time I see him swing,
come down to North Carolina. I've got Indy's whip. We can.
Oh my god, I love it. Every time when he grabbed on the open nose thing to swing down, I'm just like, yes, I need more of this.
I like I said it before. I'm a huge fan of Young Indiana Jones Chronicles that aired on ABC, and I love that this movie, how that series ends up paying homage to it, but we didn't know it at the time. The artifact he's looking for, this diamond, is known as is supposedly the Peacock's Eye, and there was a episode on Young Indiana Jones called The Treasure of Peacock's Eye. It doesn't make reference to Temple of Doom per se, but this has been kind of confirmed that this is what Indy's been searching for. They didn't find it, but this is what it kind of been a life story.
Since he was a kid? Yeah.
In this one, he was a teenager. Sean Patrick Flannery played him at that point, and
I need to watch that.
You really do. Yeah. Disney Plus, where is it?
Is it? Oh, yeah, they are, don't they? It was on Amazon Prime.
The Young Indiana Jones Chronicles.
Okay, I said, because I had to actually watch this on Netflix. I got lucky that it was on Netflix, so...
Yeah. So I like that little kind of homages to that they end up paying off later on, but I don't know. I love the bridge sequence,
Yeah.
That whole showdown.
Well, it was a good showdown. It's funny though because like it just seems really long as far as like you can tell Indiana's going to do this, then he speaks some Chinese, and then and they're like, do this, and nobody else catches on to that at all. Like, hey, he's about to cut this thing. He's standing there with the knife, with the sword on the bridge for about 2.5 minutes before that. Nobody thinks to grab onto something to hold on to or to attempt to get off the bridge because you know he's cutting it.
In the 80s, we did a lot of posing before
That's
we
true.
did
That's
anything,
true.
Greg. It was a part of the times. You posed before you did anything.
But apparently they did that in one take. That took one
Really?
take. Yep,
Wow,
they got
that's crazy.
that bridge came down in one take.
I just love all of it because it feels very like James Bond, in that first scene. Just everything about it, the poison, and it's just so fun. I don't know. It's my favorite part of the movie. I think.
It is a good part.
It almost makes you wonder if you did like an Indiana Jones just spy in the city movie, what it would be like,
As long as he's swinging around on shit from that whip, I don't care. He can just grab a light post and just swing and I'm like, yes, I'll watch it, Greg.
Yeah,
He's
the
like
whip's
running
perfect.
around Central Park, like this belongs
like,
in a
"I'm
museum.
Spider-Man,
Yeah,
I was gonna
It's
say
not
he's
quite
gonna be
the
whip
same.
slinging with the whip because that whip is just perfect. Because no matter how long he's got to have it be for that, whatever you got to do, it's that length. It's perfect.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So basically, you want Wonder Woman's lasso.
Yes.
Yes.
Or Spider-Man's webbing. Yeah. Stuff like that. It
Totally
always
true.
works out.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty cool. But he's pretty good with the whip. I did notice that people were being struck with the whip quite a bit in this movie, and it did not portray what you would really look like if you were hit with a whip that many times in your back.
No.
I mean, there was a couple little cuts, but nah, you wouldn't be having any more adventures after that. I don't think.
No.
Probably one of the
You'd
most
have the
cool
adventure to
visuals.
the hospital out of there.
Yeah. But let's see what else, man. The beginning. Because I didn't remember a whole lot about this movie. The beginning scene with the raft where they jump out of the plane in the raft.
Oh yeah.
It's like, okay, I can somewhat believe that they maybe jump out of this plane and land on the raft and they somehow survive that. But then when they jump off the cliff and they're flipping before they land in the water,
That's where you lost, Greg.
I was like,
David.
wait a
That's where
second.
you
And they just
lost
happened to land perfectly in the water from like 250 feet up, so they probably still would have died. But it was just crazy to watch that, and I was like, I couldn't remember that part. And I was like, they're really gonna do this? They're really gonna do this? And they did it. So.
Greg was totally okay with the ripping the hearts out, and
Right.
that was
Right. Don't
totally
flip that
realistic
raft.
at that point.
Yeah.
The thing that holds him up is the raft.
Yeah, the glowing rocks, the drinking blood stuff, all that fine.
The voodoo. How about that?
I think this movie was the first time that when you see like the rope bridge, that's like burning my brain. Like, no, I'm not going over that. I'm not, no, I don't care. No, it's gonna break. It's gonna break. I don't care what. It's gonna break.
Is
That's
that
a
with
good
all the
question.
alligators at the bottom?
Yep.
Yeah.
It's like the
That
straight
part.
plunge.
That's a good question. Would y'all go over that bridge? I would.
No. I'm not
Fun
the
fact.
adventurous type. I don't take
When
risks.
When I pull the drawbridge up at my house, that's the only way you can get to my house. I don't like other people.
Got a
so
moat
that's just
around
how
his
you gotta get
house.
to my house.
To be dropped out of an airplane.
Yes. Yes.
I like getting to Nathan's house now. At that point, I'll be dropped out of a plane just to have that experience. Let's do that.
Helicopter rappel straight down there. There you go. What else, y'all? Anything else you want to point out about the movie? Stuff you loved, hated?
The rail cart scene. Is that what you would call them?
It
Rail?
felt like a
Yeah.
roller coaster, right?
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was a roller coaster.
Right, but yeah, I mean, the scene felt like I was on a roller coaster. But yes,
But I love that part, and every time I went to Six Flags and rode the runaway mine train, it was
That's
the
what you
closest
got.
that I could get to that.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's been often duplicated in many movies, and it's a lot of fun. It doesn't make a lot of sense logistically, but that doesn't matter. It was really fun.
right. This is the movies. We don't have to make a ton of sense, just enough to where it keeps your attention.
Hmm.
action adventure. Yes.
You got to suspend the belief at some point in time, especially since most of the stuff. All the stuff we talk about is fake. I mean,
That's true.
I was gonna say most of it. No, everything we talk about is fake. Fake and fun though. Good stuff. Anybody else? Scenes you want to point out? Stuff you loved? I know everybody loves Short
Why-
Round. He is.
Why does he say okie dokie something potato, like hold your potatoes or something? Like why is that like
Hold
the
on to your
first thing
potatoes,
you have
Dr.
to say?
Jones.
Because it's
Yeah.
cute. I think that's the only reason. It's adorable. So
I know.
No
So we'll
logic
call
to
it,
it.
call it like tolerable, adorable racism.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
But man, he was such a staple in the 80s, between
yeah.
this and Goonies. I just
Oh yeah.
loved him.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Though we hate on this movie so much, it actually won the Academy Award for Best Visual Effects.
I'm not hating. I like this movie.
You know, I actually was kind of impressed. There's the one scene where he's looking at the scripture or with the old piece of paper, and he's on top of a rock, and it's like nighttime and cast out. And I was looking at it, and I was like, that actually doesn't look that bad for being as old as I am. Doesn't look that bad, you know.
That's pretty good praise.
By that, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Let's see. I'm trying to think. There was a scene where him and Short Round are playing poker, and I thought that was kind of funny. The back and forth between them, because it was like brothers. It said like an older brother and a little brother.
Yep.
You know, they did a good job with that. They had good chemistry together.
Yeah, you can definitely tell he generally cares about Short Round at that point. It's not just an annoying little kid. He definitely cares about him.
Oh yeah.
But who knows what happens to him between that and Raiders?
Yeah.
I think he probably died.
He's like, Dr. Jones, do you want to adopt me? It's like, ooh,
yeah.
Not
down.
hitting the old dusty trail. Oh, there's
He's
the
like,
fire
you want to
escape.
adopt? Yeah, you want to adopt me? He goes, come here. Look at
The
this
scene
edge.
where
Look over
he's
this
under
edge."
the influence of whatever the magic or whatever, and he in Short Round says, "I love you," and he like punches him or something or slaps him.
Yeah.
I like cried as an adult. I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's heartbreaking." He
Don't
really
smack
loves
him.
him. He loves Indiana Jones.
I guess it's.
But yeah, I just pretend he went to college after that or something. Like he
Right.
grew up, he
Yeah.
went to college.
No.
He's doing fine,
He
guys.
threw
Don't
him
worry
down a
about
hole.
it. Yeah.
He threw him down a
We
hole
don't
because
really
he was
know.
tired of him. Just pushed him right off.
Made it look like an accident.
Exactly.
Yeah, it surprised me when I saw Indy punch Short Round. But you know what surprised me more is there's a scene earlier in that movie where he just straight up punches a woman right in the face.
Yeah.
I saw that and I was like,
Mhm.
okay.
It was
Does
poison.
happen.
Yeah, that's right. He was poisoned. That's right. That's what it was. But it was the woman in the club, and I was like, why do you do that? I was like, she just had a drink right in her
Why
hand. I don't
do
think
that?
she was doing anything to him. But okay. You
Also,
Yeah,
never
that
no,
little
under
monkey-
contracts in the 80s, you could slap and hit whoever you wanted. It was
Yeah,
just
it
a
just-
standard written protocol.
You just walked around a karate chopped and punched whoever it was. Somebody looked at you wrong and punch.
I felt sorry for that little monkey that ate the dates and died.
And
I
died.
was like,
Raiders.
oh, I felt a little bad. Oh wait, that was Raiders. You're right.
Yep.
Dang it, I told you this happens to me.
That's okay. That's a good scene to bring up.
Yeah,
I was gonna say I don't remember that scene from just now, but probably not.
I just
But
included it.
Greg wouldn't remember.
No, terrible memory. You know how many times I almost called the show the wrong number right before we start? It's terrible. But it only goes up one a week.
We did hit record this time, right?
Yes.
Are we
That's
sure?
happened to me once, and I had a backup plan for it that worked
Yep.
out pretty well. So
If you say so.
yeah, it's a lost episode. So all right. Anything else? Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom. I mean, y'all have kind of ranked it.
Still
I guess
love
I was a
him.
little higher on this one than y'all were, but
Oh
That's
no.
okay. I'm impressed
I
by
still
that.
enjoyed
I
it.
like it.
yeah, we all still enjoyed it. Exactly.
I dig. I dig.
I hear you. I hear you.
I'm ready.
If,
I'm ready
if
for
it's
number
the only
5.
Indiana Jones that's on TV, I'll watch it.
Yeah,
Oh,
if it's on,
absolutely.
I'm watching it.
Yeah.
There's some
Absolutely.
scenes that
I'm ready for
Sarah,
number
the
5.
look on
Search
your
for
face when
Social
you said that was so
Security.
passionate. You were like, absolutely. Like, it was
Absolutely.
so believable. Like, I love that.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Gonna lie. Love Indy.
There you go.
Mhm.
All right, cool. Well, let's before we get into more reviews of other stuff, let's go ahead and knock out some news. And let's get started with the biggest one. You want to talk about the Snyder interview with Grace Randolph?
Now let's move on. Nobody cares
Yeah,
about
nobody
that.
cares about that.
Yeah.
Nobody on this podcast does.
All right. Lisa, did you saw the interview? Heard about the interview? Read it?
no.
I have not either.
I'm blocked on I think both my accounts for anything she posts because one time I was like, "Why would you say this?" And that was enough.
She was like
so.
insta block.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, I
You
don't even
made
know
it.
her. I just didn't appreciate her review one time.
I get that.
So I have not seen it. No.
I get that. I mean, I know a lot of people did not like the interviewer. As I've mentioned before on the
Disgrace.
DC Alliance, I don't really know a whole lot about any of that stuff, so it didn't bother me as much. I just want to see a good interview. Sarah, did you see anything about the interview or watch it?
Unfortunately, I haven't. Like I said, this week's been a little crazy, so I've kind of pick and choose what I saw and caught. So it's like one that kind of slid through the
You and
cracks.
Chris are the only two that have seen it.
Okay, well that's no big
How
deal.
about this-
Me and Chris can knock it out real quick.
All right, Greg, input the that segment in, and we'll all listen to it from DC Alliance.
There you go. There you go. 20
That way,
minutes right there.
that way, Travis can actually be part of the show.
Yeah, we talked about the interview probably almost twice as long as the actual interview was. I think we went almost 40 minutes. And the interview was only 20. So
I want to know you reflecting on it, Greg. What's your take on some of the highlights?
Of the Grace Randolph and Snyder?
Yeah.
We talked about the continuity. We talked about, all the stuff he's doing from home. We talked about the characters he broke down. And then we talked about the segments that he had at the end were the stuff he's going to present. And out of all that stuff that we talked about, the only thing that I've really been thinking about the last few days is what's he going to talk about on Saturday. And tomorrow he's going to be at Justice Con. And he did announce that he has, this is hopping right to the end of this interview because it's the most exciting part for me. He's talking about he may show a clip, which he's going to show a clip because you don't say that.
Come on, we know this.
And then he has an announcement for the fans, and it's the speculation of what the announcement for the fans is going to be. Because I know that on DC Alliance, we all kind of agreed that the announcement's going to have something to do with the Snyder Cut, either like an announcement of a Cyborg show, and then at Fandom having like the final announcement of, okay, this is going to be an ongoing series in the Zack Snyder universe on HBO Max, which we all agreed would be really awesome. But I've been thinking all week, and there's all kinds of different stuff. And thanks to Boss Logic putting all this stuff out there about Ben Affleck and his Batman going on to HBO Max, which I know is just pictures, but man, I want it so bad because they look so good. I just don't know what he's going to announce, and I don't think that tomorrow is going to be a huge announcement. I think he saves that for Justice Con, but I think that we may be in for a real surprise tomorrow. I don't think we're going to guess what he has to say tomorrow, to be truly honest.
It's going to be 30. It's going to be like a 30-second clip and then a full trailer at Fandom, I think.
Yeah, as far as the trailers go, I think that is what he's going to do because he said he just had a short clip. I'm just talking about the announcement he's going to make. I think he's going to make, because those are two separate things, I think he's going to make a small announcement, but I don't think we're going to be able to guess what it is. I think he's going to catch all of us by surprise.
Preferably, let's just say in your scenario, you said you think he's going to do a Cyborg movie or whatever and continue it. Preferably, if it was me, if he's going to work with WB again and HBO Max, I would prefer it to be a Henry Cavill Superman so he could finish that arc like he wanted to and just get that done and over with. But now that's reaching for the stars and, whatever. But I'm just saying, if we're living in a hypothetical world where he's working full time, or, again with them in a new production, that's what I would personally like to go for, either an HBO exclusive movie or one, however the hell they want to do it, but where he can just he can clean it up and finish it up there.
Well,
but honestly, I think it's gonna. It's so hard to speculate. Like, I don't know if what if he announces they let him have they continue in an animated series form or animated movies or something. You know what I mean? Like I have no idea what it could be.
Well, touching on what you were just saying there with Henry Cavill and Superman, Travis did speculate that Henry Cavill's been working out quite a bit lately. He looks a lot bigger, so maybe he's preparing for filming of some kind of short said announcement or something like that. So that's in the realm of possibility, of course, because I really think he could go anywhere with this announcement. I'm just excited to see what it is.
He can.
Yeah.
He could be working out for Witcher Season 2, though, right?
Possibly.
My theory was that computer he's assembling is pretty heavy, so he needs to make sure.
I have a question about that interview because I saw a lot of buzz on Twitter, and forgive me, you probably noticed I haven't been very present during the day, during the week, because I've been working again. But just knowing the history that Grace Randolph has kind of had with the DC fandom, what do you make of that choice to pick her as an outlet for his interview? Like, what do you think the reasoning is?
I don't know what the message was.
I think it says a lot in the sense of, we get on, and I'm not a Grace, fan in any sense. It's I haven't grown to the level that I've been blocked by her.
Just know that the block reason was pretty minor. It was more like you just saying something like, hey, I don't understand where you're going with this take. It was not I mean, my recollection of it was not that it was like, I hate you, curse word, blah blah.
You see where
Because
Lisa,
that is so your personality to go rage on someone.
If y'all only knew me like off mic, you kind of swear like a sailor. It does surprise people. I just try to dial it down. But
depending on the day, some people just cannot take constructive criticism or
true. And maybe she was getting inundated and she was like, I know where this is going, which
Chris
she's
is a liar.
probably right.
Chris is a liar. He's the president of the Grace Randolph fan club.
Yes,
I saw
like
it.
everything.
He's got the account. He's ready to go.
Yes, because I'm the one who I'm the one who tweets all that stuff out.
Do you think maybe like I don't know, like sometimes Zack Snyder's choices feel, I don't know how to put this, but it's like he's okay with response, and it's like by picking somebody that is kind of, I don't know, controversial, like he wanted that attention in a way. I don't know.
Well, I said it on DC Alliance that it's PR 101. Mm-hmm. If you want to get the people on your side of the ones that kind of do drive traffic at that point. Now, Grace has recently more come on board the last couple of years of pushing for the Snyder Cut. So she's not necessarily anti-Snyder.
Gotcha.
Yes, she wasn't a fan of many different parts of Man of Steel, but she has been a pro Zack Snyder person.
Okay.
But being as controversial as she is in the sense of, she's definitely, I don't compare her to Campia and
oh God, no.
In other senses, like she's definitely, I agree with you, Lisa, that she's not necessarily the most positive person, and definitely someone that can, as your case in point, can't necessarily take constructive criticism even when it's not going after her. But I like that he did it with her, because he can say he did it. He can say he went on her platform, say that, hey, I'm supporting you. You've been a promoter of me. And he never has to do it again, because there were parts in this interview that she was trying to get him to say and do certain things, and he just brushed her off. Like, wouldn't even give her the time of day.
After the director of Birds of Prey really responded to some of the stuff she said, and called it, unprofessional journalism and stuff like that, it was really like, I don't know, that really that's
why I call her Disgrace.
I mean, it's like your words have weight and you have a big platform. You have to really be careful the messages you put out there, and my perception of her is that she doesn't do that.
No, she doesn't.
And so so it's just, that's interesting, but it's good to know that background, because I was genuinely curious. Like I really didn't know, because like, again, once she kind of left my periphery, I kind of just thought, you know what, I don't really want to see all that anymore.
No, you're not. No.
And so I just, when people get like real fired up, I rarely ever look up what she actually said, because I'm just like, I'm just done. I'm tired. But that's interesting that, she had this interview with him, and that for the most part, it wasn't too bad, although you do say there's some rough spots. But
she tried to goad him. She tried to goad him on particularly on Superman.
Her style.
She tried to goad him on Superman. She kept on saying that you must love an evil Superman at that point, and he basically took that and threw it in her face in a polite way, saying, you know what, I don't think it's an evil Superman per se. Exactly. He says that, when I see Superman trying to figure out what to do, he's an abstract character trying to, what he can do, try to, bring him to a different level, a more relatable level. That's what it is. And just see, and she said, well, that makes him evil. I said, no, I really don't see that. Right. It's too different. It's just a different portrayal. And we see a journey for Superman in the sense of from Man of Steel to what we will see in BVS and what we will see in Justice League. Right. It's just different. But she really stuck on that whole thing of evil Superman. I think she just, I was about to say, Grace, you don't get it. And
she was baiting him.
Well, she was baiting him in the sense of, my other problem with the interview was when she says, like, she agrees that Ben Affleck is one of the best portrayals of Bruce and Batman, and the most time we've ever seen Bruce on screen in this way. And I was like, have you ever seen the Nolan trilogy? Because Bruce is more on screen in the Nolan trilogy than anything else.
Oh yeah. Touching real quick on what you were saying about the Superman thing, yeah, that was one of my favorite parts of this show because Zack Snyder made me a Superman fan. I wasn't a Superman fan until I saw Henry Cavill and that version of it. It's because he's relatable, and he describes it as a Superman that has to reconcile with humanity, love, and life, as opposed to just a perfect being who's on Earth and everything goes great for him. And which. Right. I can argue with that point too, because if you go back, I pulled plenty of times in animated stuff and comics and in movies where Superman's not a perfect guy who's smiling all the time. But that's another argument. But I just love that he brought up that part about Superman and him touching the eternal and coming back from the grave, like what that means for a person and for, or not for a person, but for his soul and his mind, what it can do. And the journey this character has to go through. And you're right, she tried to bait him into saying evil Superman. I think she said it 3 times.
She did, yeah. And he one of his counters was like, I have huge respect for his moral code. Like he eventually has to come back to the pinnacle. He's the pinnacle of the league. He has to come back to that point. And he says that's what my job is to do, to show that journey so that he will go back to the pinnacle.
Yep. Yeah, man, and I love the way he did Superman because, like I said, he made me a Superman fan. Like was not a big Superman fan. Not that I hated the character. I wasn't going to read his comics. I wasn't really interested in Man of Steel. To be honest with you, whenever I saw the previews for it when it first came out, and then I heard it was great, and I checked it out, and I ended up loving it, and that's always going to be my Superman. So I loved hearing him talk about that. He talked about I love the talk. Yeah, there you go. I love the talk about the runtime because he would not give a definite answer on runtime, which is cool. That means this is still fluid. Maybe that he's still working on how long he wants this to be, adding more stuff. Him doing all the posts and everything from home, he can do it whenever he wants to. 214 minutes is less than what it's going to be. It's going to be much, much longer than that. But 214 minutes is the only minute number that he said.
Yeah, he said it would be. He basically said it's going to be more than that. And we did see today. Ben's stunt double has confirmed that there is extra footage being shot.
Ooh,
wow!
Awesome.
Richard Citrone.
Yep, Citrone. I think he was on. I think
Nice.
Travis had given us that. Let me pull it back up. But I'm almost certain
I was doing work and stuff.
he had confirmed 2 things: that Netflix is blown away by Army of the Dead, which he's filming, which he's now in post on that because he did reference that. But let's see, where we talked about a lot of stuff in there. Yep, here we go. Richard just confirmed 2 big things on a podcast. Yes, some additional shooting for Zack Snyder's Justice League is happening. So, and I believe, looks like, what was the podcast? Looks like, what is this? Hold on, I didn't catch it in the background. I almost want to say it is... not sure which one. I recognize the part of the symbol, but yeah. So you guess he was on a podcast where he confirms there's more footage being shot, which was, if we remember back when, like within 2 weeks, that had been a lot of people were saying no, that's not happening. He's got a budget. He's got this. Is not saying. Well, I'll take Citrone's word. He's not necessarily gonna throw Zach under the bus and make something up at that point. And that's really cool. I whatever additional footage, bring it.
Yeah. It's probably just Batman stuff to where literally Citrone can be in the suit and Ben doesn't even have to come back.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where Ben can just do the ADR and maybe an extra punch or a kick or a karate chop or just a menacing shadow, which give me all
menacing
of it.
shadow.
Pow, bangs.
But I think my biggest thing was him talking about the continuity and where his fits in and confirming that this is outside of it. If you can clearly, he gave praise to Pattinson and Reeves, saying he can't wait. He thinks Pattinson is a good guy. Reeves is an awesome director. And he says, you look at the movies that came after it, Aquaman, comes right after this, but it's now kind of branched off. Same thing with Wonder Woman. It's kind of branched off. This is my universe, right? Didn't call it the universe, but basically this is separate. He loves the idea of the multiverse and allows him to continue on a journey with these characters without impeding on the quote unquote DCEU.
Yeah, and
can we just get a Superman movie after this?
I think that there's a good chance we're going to see a Superman movie in the future. But it was nice hearing him talk about that continuity because realistically, the DCEU can continue with all the characters they still have and just replace Batman and be okay. And you can put Batman in its own separate HBO Max universe and he'd be just fine. You can have your own Batman universe, and I promise you it'll be just as big as, well, not just as big, but pretty damn big compared to what you can do on the big screen with an entire DC universe, just because it's so fun. And that's the direction I'm hoping they go, because of these Boss Logic pictures have been coming out, and they look amazing. One of them looks so good I had to change it to my icon for Twitter, because that Deathstroke Batman image is awesome. I want that as a poster on my wall. Might have to do that.
There's a mask you can wear around there, Greg. Throw away your Stormtrooper. Get a Deathstroke mask.
That's not a bad idea.
Yes.
But that's just a mask, not a helmet. I'd rather wear a helmet. I'm a helmet guy, not a mask
It's
guy.
a helmet. I mean, it wraps around his entire head. That's a helmet, dude.
You need a damn helmet. You better be a helmet guy.
Yeah. All right.
Get your Power Rangers helmet. Just get you the White Ranger
I want to get the
helmet
White
and just
Rangers
walk
helmet. I
around.
really
Just
do.
go.
It's only like $90 for a nice one, but coughing up $90 right now is difficult.
But then you're gonna need the spandex suit and the shield that goes
I've
over
already got
it
the
and the
spandex
sword.
suit.
You're
Like a
gonna
big
go
old-
get it.
They're called pajamas. All right, so that's first squirrel of the night, actually. I think talking about Greg and White Ranger pajamas.
It's all right.
but,
It's all right. It's all right.
But yeah, that just kind of, I mean, is anything else you want to point out? Like you said, we talked about it for quite a while on DC Alliance podcast. Go check it out. We had a great conversation about it. I just want to bring it
I'm
up because
stoked.
it is a big deal, and I know all of y'all heard something about it, and it's just awesome. Get to see Snyder tomorrow, and that segues us perfectly into the next little news talk about. Just talking about Justice Cons tomorrow and Sunday. And I know Snyder's doing his panel tomorrow. I love how on every panel it says the times, and Snyder's it says 5:30 to question mark. So we don't know how long his is going to be.
It's got some good guesses.
Wow.
For this show.
Y'all got any guesses about how long he's going to
No,
talk?
I said how long he's gonna talk? No, but I know the whole day tomorrow's got some good guests.
Oh yeah,
From Jay Oliva to Ray Porter, that's going to be played Darkseid's voice, and Ray Fisher and Zack Snyder, and then it's got
Jay Olivia's coming on tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah, it's got the Ink to the People guy on there. Dude, like it's a good lineup of people to talk, and the organizers, the Nerd Queens and Megan. Yeah, it's going to be a good day.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to even Sunday with Sean O'Connell talking about the book.
Mm-hmm.
So that they did say that I think that one in particular, I think they're going to open up questions at that point to log in live questions possibly. So we're going to hear what this one word that he was so nervous listening to the Grace interview that Zach was going to give up something that was in the book or is going to be in the book that he didn't want revealed, and he apparently hasn't. And initially when people were trying to guess the word on O'Connell's feed, he said, I think within 48 hours, no one had guessed it. I think yesterday he said a couple of people had guessed the word. He didn't confirm what it is. So he did say, if someone asked me the question on Sunday, I will say what that word is that Zach confirmed that will blow your minds.
Brainiac.
And people brought up multiverse, and he said, that's not it.
Now I'm interested. It's definitely interesting.
Crossover.
Yeah.
Boom.
There you go. Of everything DC ever. Get everybody back.
We're going to Marvel. That's boom. You can't blow your mind. They're going to do a live action Marvel DC crossover.
If they thought it made enough money.
Yes. But they're not going to be willing to do it.
Oh no, they won't ever play ball like that. Let's see. I'm interested to see the Deborah Snyder and Snyder's Amazons on Sunday. I just want to know what that's about because I'm sure it's going to be.
This is Lady Power.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to hear. And
it's as I say, it's all those girls that do that podcast. They get together
and just applause for them. Everyone that's working behind you with them, everything. I can't imagine what putting on a normal convention is, but doing something completely online and just making sure everything's in place. Bravo. Seriously, if that's your calling card for the rest of your life besides an awesome podcast, thank you. They may not listen to this, but thank you.
Yeah, 100%. But you got a whole bunch of different stuff. Like you mentioned Sean O'Connell, diversity in Snyder's films should be an interesting little segment. I love Snyder as a filmmaker, so it'd be pretty cool to watch. I won't be able to watch all of it on Saturday, but I'm going to make sure that I plan my lunch break around the times that I want to see things, and then Snyder's at 5:30 Eastern Standard Time, so I'll have like an hour before I get off work then, and the last hour at work on a Saturday, closing the post office is usually pretty slow because the office closes at 12, and I'll be there till 6:30. So I'll probably have time to be able to have this on in the background playing. So
and I like what they said when someone asked him, you didn't there's not a time ending for Zack Snyder. And they said, yeah, like we're gonna put a time limit. If the boss wants to speak for 4 hours, we're gonna let him speak for 5.
All right. You can only talk for 20 minutes, Zach. Sorry.
Yeah. Get in, get out.
Right.
Get out of here.
Hey, the more let's make sure he's pretty liquored up, because that when he was doing his Snyder Con, the film festival at that point, he was pretty liquored up. He let it flow and did not let things hold back.
Is that the one where he called watching BBS losing your virginity to this movie?
Okay.
I believe so. And then the famous thing is like, if you think like this is a wake the F up.
Yeah, I was like, whoa, where's this going? And that's good to know.
Yep.
I didn't know he was liquored up, but I remember seeing that
totally
clip
fine.
and being like, wow, this is kind of going off the rails here a little bit.
Zack Snyder, he gives 0 Fs.
Yeah.
Right now, he's at that point. But yeah, man, JusticeCon's going to be fun. Not a whole lot of news, so we can talk about it until at this weekend. But next week's going to be really, really fun. DC Alliance Podcast Monday is going to be awesome. Talking about this. So, yeah, excited for it. Starts tomorrow. Ready to go. Let's continue on with the news. How about some Ayer cut? I don't know a whole lot about the Ayer cut. Who knows a lot about the Ayer cut? Anybody?
Chris.
Oh.
Chris always knows everything.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
And all the things.
I've just been paying attention a little bit more. That's about it.
That's why you're pay attention.
That's why you're the guy.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, the Ayer cut movement had a big day. They're basically looking. They had, I think it was
Sunday?
Wednesday.
When was
I think it was
one.
yeah. I think it was
Wednesday?
yeah,
Sunday?
I think it was whatever day. The week's gone together. They had their big day that they were equating to the November date for Snyder Cut. They said supposedly we know we're being watched on this day. AT&T and HBO Max are watching. They're looking out. Here are the hashtags Op Squad and release the Ayer cut, and just tweet away. And it did reach by, I think around 6 or 7 o'clock. It did reach 100,000 tweets, which was the goal. And definitely was in the top 10 of trending at that point. Yeah, eventually surpassed it. Today was thank Batfleck, for everything. But yeah, Ayer has been very much a supporter of Zach. Pretty much he's been releasing stuff that whatever we saw in theaters was not his. Obviously, when you have a trailer house cut that movie at that point, never heard of that before. Nobody has. He's been very forthcoming about what is true, what is not true. The cut does exist. As Zach said before, it's up to Warner Brothers, now AT&T, to do what they want with it. So they're watching, and I don't know. It'd be pretty amazing. I'm 50-50 if DC fandom makes that announcement. I think they're going to wait and possibly see how Zack Snyder does it. So I don't know if we're going to get any sort of confirmation of an Ayer cut this year. I would lose my mind if it is, but I think
it'd be the perfect lead into Snyder's Justice League. But
it would be, but it's just I could see
know.
some people taking offense to it, and I wouldn't be one of those people saying, "Man, Ayer got his cut, sooner released than it took Zach." I mean,
his is done.
But you know what I mean, though. Someone would take that. Hey, Zach earned it. You didn't. I think let's not do that. I can see some people doing it that way.
I can leave those silly people alone.
Sorry.
Yeah. Do you think that the pandemic could have an effect on it? I mean, I've heard talk on other shows, and I've thought myself that, we're getting new content because a lot of it's like already filmed, but there's going to come a time where there's going to be like a break in new releases because things aren't being made right now.
Netflix
so, I mean, that would
run out.
Yeah. So that would be a good opportunity maybe to have the Ayer cut and, projects that maybe are like 90% done, and things like that.
Yeah,
I think you're going to see a lot more animation too during that void and break, just because it's easier to do from home. That's just my opinion.
And to your point, it's supposedly done, and whatever he needs to quote unquote finish up. Again, post production, you don't have to have it as long as he doesn't need any additional actress footage at that point. Yeah, I mean this could be. I would love it. It's just it's one of those things that I really hope AT&T was really paying attention at that point, and get it done, because I'm the biggest person. We're all the biggest people say, let's just let the filmmaker's vision. We understand this is a business. We understand that they need to make their bottom dollar, and there are going to be some notes. But it sounds like, just like, similar to Zach, this was not the movie that we originally saw. Whatever, even though it's an Academy Award winning movie, we did not see his cut. We have not seen what Jared Leto's Joker was truly meant to become in that idea. I mean, I've got my Ink to the People shirt supporting the Ayer cut at that point. I'm a huge supporter. Now we finally have a Twitter feed for release the Schumacher cut. I mean, this is a thing, and I would love it. That would be the biggest coup at that point, just saying, hey, DC fandom, we got released the Snyder cut, we've got released the Ayer cut, hey, and guess what? For Not to Boots, we're releasing the Schumacher cut. We're digging that.
It starts to seem like there's more of a trend now where, I don't really say like film goers or anybody that's really, I don't know if it's really any general audience or if it's more of the fan base, the fandom. It's like they're demanding the more of. I'm hoping the film studios are realizing that we want to see the actual director's visions. Mm-hmm. You've got to get past the whole, I understand you want to make money. I get that. I understand you want to, pander to both the fandom and the general audience. But now it's getting to the point now with, DC especially, it's like the fans are demanding more. They're like, look, we want to see what these filmmakers are going to put out there because it's just such a, it was, with Snyder, I mean, there was obviously there was a big demand for that. And now with Ayer, if they're starting to have a demand for that. And like I said, even with Schumacher, I mean, it's really interesting that trend is starting to develop more so. And I'm hoping studios start listening to that.
Yeah. So, I think you've got that really down, Sarah, in the sense of how many of our big time, quote unquote, big time directors have made deals with Netflix. I mean, list them out. They have gone that route. I mean, crying out loud, what was it? You got Ava now with a deal with Netflix, I believe. You've got, you had Martin Scorsese in The Irishman. I mean, The Irishman is a legit movie that you could see in theaters, but he went the Netflix route at that point. Yeah. You see actors. I mean, look at the Russos are now tied up. So, I mean, they basically are sending a message to your old studios saying, we're done playing your game. We want to do our movies at that point the way we want to see them. And guess what? If you're not willing to play ball, we'll go across the street because now they have the clout to show that and saying, how do you like that, apples? Right.
Yeah, I think after, last night I was on the cinematic conversation about Roma. After Alfonso Cuarón sold Roma to Netflix after they funded it, and he did that because he knew the big studios would not release a foreign film in a foreign language subtitled film into a lot of theaters. And so he was like, I'm just going to skip that. I'm going to go right to Netflix. And then he ended up winning Best Director. Mm-hmm. And I think that sent like shockwaves through Hollywood. Like, we don't have to be limited to whatever you guys say anymore, and we can go to Netflix like you're saying, and they're going to listen to me and let me do whatever I want because they're just so grateful to have me, and so
well, the other difference in that too is just the timing that we're in life. The fans have so much more power to what an influence over what these studios are doing, because now you can actually get a hold of these studios. You can actually have your voice heard. You can make a profound statement that a bunch of people like and starts a movement. You couldn't do that before. You pretty much got what they gave you. And you're right, Netflix kind of is what helped break that mold. I mean, the list of the directors and actors that have gone to it. I mean, you can look at Happy Madison Productions. Even though, Adam Sandler movies are silly, he's making a lot of money on Netflix. And not all his Netflix movies are great, but some of them are pretty darn good. I mean, it's just things like that. And I'm sure he's having a much more fun time there. And a lot of directors are. And it's just, I mean, it's a different time than when we grew up.
Yeah, it's not like a bunch of like old men in a boardroom deciding stuff anymore.
I mean, look at the Academy. The Academy's now had to start changing rules because of it. In streaming at that point, they may say, oh, it's just for this year, or it's just no. You're going to get caught in that one, and then it's changing. The game has changed, and I applaud Netflix for finally being the impetus of the change of the studio system, because we had the old studio system that got ended and then it quote unquote got better, but now we've got a new studio system that is back in the sense of, yeah, you're not owning theaters, you're not owning actors per se like you used to exclusively. Right. Now everyone's a free agent, and the best game in town right now is Netflix. You want to be, if WB, AT&T, whatever we're calling them, wants to be the director-driven studio, you ain't anymore. It's Netflix, it's Amazon, it's Hulu. I mean, for kind of
they got freedom to do what they want there.
Yeah, I mean, for kind of lot, I still can't stop thinking about Palm Springs, which I saw last weekend. I mean, that an hour-and-a-half movie with Adam Sandberg taking the Groundhog Day concept and putting in their own spin on it. It's an outstanding movie, and I was saying, my goodness, if they purposely went to Netflix to get more money and to get this out there to more wider audiences to see, bravo, keep doing it.
Yeah, go where the money is at, Sure. But yeah, I mean that's really all we were talking about the air cut before we kind of went on that Netflix binge there. But I don't really have a whole lot else about the air cut. I mean, it leads right into that. It's just we're talking about more director driven visions and more what fans are wanting. So that Netflix flowed right into that perfectly. But I don't know a lot about it. There's not a lot of news out of there about it. It's just right now it's just the beginning of a movement, right?
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe he'll do a watch party where he'll do a big reveal. I don't know if he wants to watch.
Oh, that'd be nice.
I don't think he wants to watch his cut, kind of like Zach's never seen Justice League. So I don't think we're going to get that kind of thing.
We'll do a watch along with Fury. We'll do a watch along with Fury, and then
or what was it?
Training Day.
What was the cop one that he did?
Training Day.
End of Watch.
End of Watch.
Yep.
Great.
Let's do a watch party of that where he revealed
we can do that
at
one.
the
That
end.
was a great movie.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I hope it comes out. I got a pretty good feeling that with how strong the movement is already, because this is stronger than the Snyder Cut movement was when it started.
Yeah.
I feel, but I feel like that's off the success of the Snyder Cut. Is why it's so much stronger.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So it does have that to thank for it. But it's all one team, man. I want to see the Snyder Cut, and I got a feeling that one day we'll see it either on HBO Max or on the big screen. We'll see it somewhere. So. Let's move on to the next news. We got two more news things to talk about, then we'll start talking about some shows. Nathan, start us off with the Boys clip that you gave us the other day with the whale.
Yeah, the Boys.
This show's nuts.
They released a new clip, and it shows the guys all in the boat. You see the speedboat cruising, and they just keep looking behind them, and all of a sudden you just see these whales come up, and you got the deep rider whale. And he tries to block the canal off with the whale, and the Butcher just rams the boat right through the whale, and that's how the clip ends. And you're just like, Jesus, they're going full the Boys. I mean, they're not gonna hold it back. They're gonna keep on keeping up the madness, and I can't wait. That's one of my most anticipated shows.
Yeah,
coming up is the season 2 of that.
Yeah, when you sent that video to me, man, I love the Boys too, so I had to watch it immediately, and it's one of those things where you know exactly what's going to happen. As soon as the whale gets on the beach, right then. There's still like 18, 20 seconds left of the video, but you know exactly what's going to happen. You're like, oh crap, I gotta watch this. I gotta see how they do this, and they did it. Pretty graphic, and it's the Boys. I'm like you, Nathan. I am probably more excited for this and Umbrella Academy. I've got this Umbrella Academy and the new Transformers coming out all within the next week, and I'm actually Boys is next month, but Umbrella Academy and Transformers coming out this week, and I'm so excited for it. So, but
I'm ready for it.
Lisa, Sarah, would y'all see the clip? What'd y'all think about it?
I haven't seen the clip yet. I'm going to be honest. I wish that I had, because it sounds awesome. I absolutely adore The Boys. I love that show so much. It did everything right. It was like, honestly, it's like the perfect answer to, I know we're talking about Zack Snyder positively, and I do like his take, but it does kind of show that people really do want to see these darker stories, but sometimes if you just don't call them Superman and Wonder Woman, people are more receptive to it, and I'm all for that. And I'm really excited for it. I thought last season was just amazing, and I just thought, yes, more of this, inject it into my veins. I want to see it again and again. So I can't wait to go watch this clip as soon as we finish recording. So
I don't know what it says about me, but I love Homelander. Like, he became one of my favorite characters.
He's very compelling, complex villain. I love him.
Anthony Starr plays a good version, and just his eyes draw you with that blonde hair.
Yes,
the way he's written it, like I said, he became one of my favorite characters.
Me too.
I
the
just saw him
intensity,
last year.
Yeah, absolutely.
What'd you think, Sarah? Did you see it?
Yes, I did. I did. Yes, I did.
And you can't
thinking-
unsee it either.
Right.
No, you cannot. I'm like,
There's a lot of things you can't unsee in that show.
Well, I mean, that's
This is
the way
true.
that show is. It's like it's
Mhm.
just so out there, so outlandish. So they're gonna do that. Yeah, they did that. So I mean, it's
Nothing surprises me anymore. Laser baby and stuff. Like, I mean, nothing.
I love
nothing-
that moment.
Like, nothing. Just if I think it's gonna happen, it's probably gonna happen.
But the Deep, he's just so goofy. I mean, it's like, dude, just because you're standing there, because
He's, like,
Butcher is
posing
going to
and
go
shit.
through it.
Yeah.
He's going to go in, around, under, through. It don't matter. He's going
If he
to.
was smart, he could have just had the whale tail whip it and just like smash it.
Yeah,
up and
exactly.
kill all
And
of them.
That's
And the
what I'm
whale's
thinking.
dead,
Maybe it
but what's
was
he
like an
care?
under instead. Yeah,
Mhm.
but I'm like, why?
I've heard people say in the first season that there were times they felt sorry for him, just everything the Deep was going through, and I was like,
no.
No.
Sorry, he
Yeah.
gave those
Yeah,
out.
I was
because,
like,
dude, you put yourself
I
in
don't.
there. It's
exactly.
Yeah.
I was like, I just can't.
Karma.
do
karma,
Yeah.
my friend. Karma.
it. So excited to see.
I don't
the
know.
show
Like,
for sure.
I did squirm a little bit when he got gilled. Like when I was like, oh,
Yeah, that
God.
was
I didn't feel bad for
Oh
really.
God.
That was
I didn't
one of
feel
those
bad for him.
scenes I wanted to unsee
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
for sure.
At least I did send that clip to you, so you can whenever you get a chance.
Okay.
Yeah, the boys goes crazy. I don't, like I said, I remember every time I think about this show, I think about how I saw the preview for it, and I was like, and the preview was completely misleading. The preview that came out like 2 or 3 months before
Like
the
they
show
were
came out to
heroes.
like introduce the show, completely misleading about this show. Blew me away. I couldn't believe what I was watching, but I loved it. It's really cool to see this take on these characters. And you're right. I think that's exactly what it is you're not marketing them as superheroes, as Superman, as Batman, as Spider-Man. Like those are not the people you're marketing
That's
them as.
exactly
So
who
people-
they are.
That's exactly who they are. That's not who you're
Yeah.
marketing them as. So they can be
Uh-huh.
a little, more on the dark side. It makes it a whole lot more fun. But
But
I'm
I feel like it's more
excited for it.
realistic because if you really
Yeah.
think about it, if people have powers
Sure.
like this they're not going to listen to Uncle Ben. They're not going to.
And they're gonna be assholes.
That's true.
Great
That's very
power
true.
because great responsibility.
They're
No,
gonna
they're
be
just gonna be like, I'm gonna do what I want to because who's gonna stop me?
I
Right.
feel like some of that was explored like in BVS with like all the news coverage, and I remember in that movie I really liked that, people questioning Superman, his motives, and I was like, ooh, I want to live here. I want to explore these questions. And
Until the Capitol building
audiences
blew up.
really hated that. They didn't like thinking
Yeah.
about that.
I love
And so like The Boys is like a safe space to like ask
Yeah.
all those questions,
That
and
sounds
it's
so weird to say. The
super
Boys is safe,
fun,
but-
moral complexity. Like, yes, I love that.
Do they have morals?
Some
They
of
do
them
not.
It does every
Um,
once in a while.
I think Hugh's face just says it all with the whole,
Yeah.
just
Oh, yeah.
The thing is too. I mean, do you think the show is out there in the sense of violence and what they show? Oh my gosh, it is so toned down compared to the book.
Really?
The
Okay.
the series is just. Do you
Get
think
back
the
into
show is
comics.
balls to the wall? Ooh.
I'm like jealous of everyone
I mean, they
within the
toned
club of having
down-
already read this.
Yeah,
I
I
have
mean,
not
they,
read
I
it.
haven't. Yeah.
what was her fate? What if, they toned down
Starlight?
the whole Starlight, and the sexual favor being forced to basically rape at that point. The Deep had forced on her. It's a lot more graphic in the book.
The
And
blackmailing?
it ain't just what they insinuate on the show, which is I was wondering where they were going to go with that, just because in the book it's a lot you don't see exactly, but there's a lot more expected
Okay.
at that
more
point.
insinuated.
Yeah.
I would say, with like the Harvey Weinstein stuff and Me Too, like it was so timely though.
Mhm.
Like it was just so perfect.
Very
And I
Yes.
think actually toning it back a little bit makes more sense because I think
definitely.
I don't know, it's like a little bit, I don't want to
It
say
made
more
a
realistic
statement.
because things happen on both ends of the spectrum, but it is a spectrum. So it's kind of good to also show like, I guess like a more toned down version. You still get the point across. So yeah, but I definitely want to read the book though.
It's
And books are always like, I mean, look at Game of Thrones. You know?
Always there. They're always
a lot darker.
Well, that's the thing too. They don't need to go as out there as the books did to really get the message across. That's what I was saying. We get the message how just unacceptable and awful what happened to Starlight. I love that I love when Starlight basically takes the bull by its horns and just say, you know what, I'm gonna out you. I'm gonna do everything, and I want you all to try to stop me. I really love the character, but I'm wondering where her character goes this season because he's still part of the Seven. And she's still out there.
Well, I think he gets a call back to action. I think he gets a call back to action because they put him in Detroit or whatever.
I was talking about Starlight.
Oh well, did you see in the post? It looks like the Deep comes back. So I think
not surprising.
Like you said, that's gonna be interesting to see how that goes. You know what I mean? Because are they gonna have to like make because they're all about their PR image? Are they gonna have to like publicly kiss and make up? Or like is that gonna be Homelander's gonna make them do that shit because they're about to have a war of superpowers across which is what they've been going for. Like I'm not like you guys said. I'm curious where they're gonna go with those guys and this new character. What's her name?
Thunderstorm or
something
like Storm something.
Like
Stormbreaker.
Stormbreaker. Okay.
Okay. Like I want to see how does that play in, and is it like where's she gonna fit in on the hierarchy and stuff? And then I'm really like Butcher's ex-wife that like apparently just ran off to go have Homelander's kid and like.
Homelander's kid gonna do because
I anticipated series.
There's that one weird scene in like the teaser trailer.
She's a kid.
Yeah, but I feel like, don't you feel like he's doing that to show the kid that he has powers, though? That's what I thought seeing the trailer.
Like that's
I was like,
montage?
I bet he's gonna like push him, and the kid like flies or so. I don't know. We'll see.
It's just a different way of when you try to teach your kids to swim. At that point, throw them in the pool. At that point.
What if the kid's Luthor though? Wouldn't that be perfect? Like his son is just like no superpower except for brilliant. And that's it. Like he can't.
It breaks his legs or something. And
he's like, he just like messes him all up. You're stupid. You know what I mean? Like that's the kids. Oh man, they're gonna do something cool with that dynamic. They're not gonna just let that fly.
Oh yeah.
It's probably not going to be like a perfect father-son relationship.
Maybe he can make like whatever makes Homelander weak. Like maybe he will be his kryptonite. So it's going to be something like stupid, but ironic. But perfectly. I don't know. You know how the show is.
Oh yeah.
They're going to make it fit perfectly.
Chris is over here like I read the book. I already know.
It's Comixology. I found a great deal when they do their year-end deals. At that point, I bought the digital omnibuses and a few of the side stories that weren't a part of the omnibuses. And eventually, I'm gonna finish it out. But I've read about half the series, and man, ooh,
good stuff.
Yeah,
I want to, but I don't want to.
But the good thing is they've just taken the concepts and some ideas. Like there's so many different things that just weren't in the comics that were depicted in this. And I'm cool with that. I want them to take just the concepts and some ideas and Easter eggs for the fans that have read it and just run with it. Because so far they have honored, what the creators have done with the book.
Mm-hmm.
So
cool deal, man.
Well, that's cool. Glad to hear that.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't know if this is a book that I'll ever pick up, but it's definitely a show that I love to watch.
Yeah.
So it's good enough for me. I have to be picky and choosy with different books I have, which, by the way, just side tangent, Sandman. Oh my gosh, thank y'all so much for recommending me doing that. I listened to half of it yesterday on my mail route. It was amazing. I can't wait to listen to the second half. Oh my gosh, check out Sandman, the audio drama book. It's phenomenal. Phenomenal. Yeah.
Amazing.
My first ever audio book.
Excellent.
So, and I'm so
I need
impressed.
to do that.
So
I have never listened to one audiobook.
Superb.
I haven't either, and Nathan explained to me too that the audio books and these audio dramas are different. So I never listened to an audio book because I felt like I'd have a hard time like imagining in my head and grasping and retaining the information, which is why I don't read a lot of chapter books, is because by the time I get to like the 5th chapter, I've kind of forgotten what's happened before that, except for big key points. But with this one, because it's got different voices for every character, and you hear the background noise and the crashing, it's like you're listening to a movie.
Yeah, like an old radio show kind of.
Exactly, yeah. And it's so good. Yes. I was like, I'll give that first hour a chance to see how it is. And after the first hour, I was like, man, I'm ready to go. Let's go to the second one, third one, fourth one. Like, here we go. Just keep going. And the only reason I stopped is because my speaker died, and I finished work. So I'll finish it soon.
It's so good. Like I said, it's one of those ones where I've recently reread probably the first 30 issues again, and it's amazing how much I'm hearing these scenes being depicted, with Gaiman being the narrator and all the different actors at that point, and how those scenes are now popping back into my head saying, okay, there, man. I mean, I know it's pretty close to an unabridged version of the first 20 issues, but man, just having those voices to characters who I never had a voice to begin with. Those are my voices now.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%, man. It's amazing, and I recommend it to anybody. Once again, Nathan, Chris, thank y'all so much. Y'all talked about it so much for so many days. Like, you know what? I got 2 free credits. Let's give it a shot. And I absolutely loved it. It was awesome. But that Sandman talk wraps up our The Boys talk. So walking back into that, you got anything else you want to point out about that? Just a few previews we've seen. Comes out the end of next month.
I thought it was like September
4th.
Yeah.
September 4th. Okay, begin September then. Okay, so we're
Labor Day.
Yeah, a month and a few weeks away. A month and 2 weeks away from it. Not too bad. Cool deal. I'm ready for that. All right, last little bit of news. I don't know anything about this, but Chris, you wanted to talk about this Robert Kirkman deal, so I'll let you talk about the entire thing so I don't screw anything up.
It's all right. So yeah, Robert Kirkman came. Image had a kind of a big kind of. It was actually a Skybound Expo, their 2-day kind of online convention celebrating Skybound's 10 years, his company that he's spun out of Image at that point. And he had made the announcement that of the animated cast of his most celebrated series, Invincible, announcing everyone. Now, some of the cast had already been announced, but he announced the full cast of the animated show that is coming to Amazon Prime later this year. We've got Stephen Yeun as the lead character of Mark Grayson, J.K. Simmons as his father, Sandra Oh as his mother. We've got Mark Hamill playing one of the quote-unquote costumer. I mean, this cast is huge. We got Zazie Beetz playing us, just some of the names. We got Carrie Payton, Walton Goggins, Zachary Quinto. It is an all-star cast for a series that has just in the last few years wrapped up 144 issues. If you have not read Invincible, this is it.
I have not.
I have not either, but I've heard a lot of good things, and like a lot of people that I admire, like in the comedy world, I think have also written issues for it and stuff.
Yeah, I mean it is outstanding. I got a chance to meet Kirkman right when during the beginning heydays of Walking Dead, Invincible. At that point, he even drew a nice little zombie. He's not a drawer, but he said, "Hey, can I draw a zombie in your hardback?" I said, "Sure." It is the most gruesome looking zombie ever, but who can't say? I said, I've got a original by Robert Kirkman, not just a signature. But this series has been kicked around.
Extra special.
Yes, it very much. But it's been kicked around for a while. They Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg were attached at one point to write, direct, and co-produce a film adaptation of this, and that kind of puttered out. And so it turned into an animated show, and actually Seth Rogen is actually one of the voices of Alan the Alien, which he is a huge part of the series. What's that? Oh, yeah, I forgot to say what it actually is about. That would be key. Invincible is about, it's a coming-of-age story of Mark Grayson's father is basically their world Superman. His name is Omni-Man, and so kind of the first issue starts off with him just finally getting his powers, and it's just the journey that he has had discovering and using his powers. But there is a huge twist in this that happens within the first arc, and I won't reveal it because it basically changes the entire direction within the first 13 issues. There's a huge twist that sets Mark on and his entire life in a whole different ball game for what it is. Not just simply, it's just like Superboy. No, this is just very different, and a reason why so many people revere this series as probably one of the best superhero comics of all time.
Wow. Okay, that's high praise.
That is very high praise. Very, very high praise.
I am not alone. Probably
don't overhype me.
I try not to, but it's an opinion I definitely share. I know our friend Brent definitely shares that opinion.
Yeah.
This series is there's a reason it went on for 144 issues and was a sellout in so many different ways. And I'm very much looking forward to seeing this animated series to see what they do with it at this point. It's an all-star voice cast.
So end of episode 1, we get the arc twist, and we're gonna go holy shit.
I wonder if they're gonna go that. I wonder how far, because I can't remember if it's it is. Let's see if I can find it. How many episodes did they? I want to say it's probably just 10 or 13. So, actually, no, it's 8 episodes for the first season. So
it's probably like 1 hour episode.
Yeah, 60 minutes runtime. So that's big for an animated show to do.
That's a long time for an animated show. Yeah.
Well, because normally they would break that up into 13. You know what I mean? You'd have half hours. So
so it'd be interesting to see when they do the twist, what episode they're going to do the big reveal of the twist that will do. But yeah, it's highly recommend it. I'd be very surprised if you're a subscriber to Comixology if the first couple of arcs aren't already part of Comixology Unlimited at that point. But
I wish I had a tablet so bad. I refuse to read stuff like that on my phone or sit in front of my laptop. I just need an e-reader really bad.
Yeah,
then I'll join.
Yeah, just basically to say that this is basically a version of Superboy and a new version of Justice League at that point, that is so underselling this series.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That does sound very interesting, man. You kind of sold me on this book. I want to go read it.
You did.
And I'm sure I won't be disappointed in it. I mean, like I said, I don't know a lot about Robert Kirkman as far as I know he did Walking Dead. I know he's doing Oblivion Song right now, which is a comic that I really enjoy, which is a comic that's not about superheroes. It's really, really fun. It's just a story. And based on what you're saying with this, it sounds like the guy's a genius.
Well, great. Well, we can get it, and if we don't like it, we can blame it all on Chris.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's why I usually blame most of the bad stuff that happens to me on it anyways, Chris.
Just come at him on Twitter.
I'll live with that. I'll live with that on this one. At that point, but it's not part of the feeds yet. It's probably going to be much later in the next couple of months. Brent, this is what he chose to get on World's Finest True Believers. Look at the first 13 issues. So it's not out there for you all to be ruined yet. You're going to have to wait a little bit. So it's definitely going to be, hopefully by the time the shows come out, it'll eventually get back on the Ultimate Alliance feed. But yeah, it's definitely, again, I can't compare it to, is it better than The Boys? That's kind of an unfair comparison. They're entirely two different series.
It's good, but different.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So
is the son just like Chucky from Sons of Anarchy?
No.
Where he just is that his twist where every time he uses his power?
Nope, that is not the twist. It is a twist that I'm surprised other ones have not necessarily done before. It's almost like
see, now I gotta know.
And again, it's nothing like when it happens, saying, that's...
You're gonna end up Googling it.
I'm gonna end up getting the book. I really am.
I'm thinking about it too.
Chris told me to get this.
Let's do it together, y'all. Start a book club.
Yeah, let's all read them together.
Let's crash World's
I'm in a
Finest
couple
True
book
Believers.
clubs. You laugh, but this, I can't go anywhere, so I'm in book clubs now.
I've just never been part of one. Nothing. Like I said, if I don't have pictures, I usually don't read it. But
well, there you go. This is the perfect book club for you.
Exactly. Sounds like my kind of jam.
It's a very good read. Robert Kirkman as a writer does not, he has a lot of big things he's trying to get across, but he doesn't write it that it's very hard to read. Like Grant Morrison can be sometimes very hard to read, and you have to read it a bunch of times. But Kirkman's very good at, he can get his themes and his messages across by not trying to. He treats it like an adult, and he's not going to try to spell it out for you. But it's interesting, the family dynamics. This is a big show based around family, and where do you place yourself in the world with this family? And they're not alone in the world. This is a world populated by superheroes already.
Okay.
So
sounds pretty interesting. I'm definitely check it out.
You're hyping it up pretty good.
Yeah, I'll check it out digitally. See if I can.
And that's because I just want to say full on. Skybound. I'm a promoter of Skybound at that point. That I get my checks cut. So now that's out there.
Okay.
Got to put that contractually obligated.
So I'll look forward to our first Invincible book club reading soon.
There you go.
I'll look for that Evite.
There you go. I will send it out there. We'll record it.
Yeah, I'm not even kidding.
I'll do it. I mean, I'm down to do it. Yeah. It's basically what we're doing right now. All we see is the red page right now.
Yeah, I'm like, oh.
Mm,
Oh,
nice.
okay, cool.
I see.
That's Ryan Otley doing a little draw of Mark Grayson as Invincible. So
That's pretty cool,
Cool.
man. Awesome. Dude, you have all the cool stuff, man. I try to make my room
He
look cool,
does.
and I think about it, I'm like,
Your
no,
room is cool, dude.
it's
I
not
don't know
nearly
what
as cool as Chris.
about.
Oh, I can make it cool.
Chris
Hold on,
has
what's this?
Chris has got every book and in the known history of the world. If it's got pictures in it, he's got them all.
Trust me at that point. Groups I'm a part of on Facebook, there are people that are way more crazy than me in the sense of collecting. I don't have FOMO in the sense of, oh, a new omnibus and hardcover, I have to have it even though I've never read the character. Yeah, I'm not that bad off.
No.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. Yeah.
We all have our limits.
Yeah. Yes. And we all have incomes that we have to, I kind of want to eat. I have to.
Right. There's
Yeah.
bills.
So there is a limit.
Did I show
Now
you
that is
Mandalorian, man?
that's what I'm talking about, Craig.
Oh,
Oh.
nice.
Yeah, I got this in the mail the other day. Let's see. Tell me if I look intimidating.
Now say this
Not
is
bad.
the way. Say this is the way.
Just
I don't think I read. Say this is the way.
Gregory.
I gotta paint it with red, white, and blue, like male colors, so I can be the male Mandalorian. It's gonna be awesome.
I love it.
I want my mail to be delivered by you. I'd run out
That's
there.
the
Give me the mail.
greatest dad joke I've heard all day.
For Father's Day, I bought my dad a shirt that said the Dadalorian. It's like the dumbest shirt ever,
nice.
but he was like obsessed with the Mandalorian, so I bought it for him.
Hey,
It came
That's
about a
awesome.
month after Father's Day, but
hey,
you know,
I'm sure
he
he still
got it
loved it.
still.
Oh,
yeah. he still
Sure,
loved it.
still loved it. Good deal. All right. Well, did you have anything else you wanted to point out about that, man?
I think I still did enough.
Okay. Good. You got this. I think you got 3 people on here.
You
who wanna
did.
We're
check it
converted
out for
now.
sure.
Yes.
Cool. Well, that's all the news we have for tonight. We only got a couple shows to talk about now, and we'll get things going with that. I think that we should start with the show that is not the normal show we review and just start talking about Umbrella Academy, because season 2 comes out next week. I'm so
All right.
excited. We've got at least 4 of 5 of us here are huge Umbrella Academy fans. So, first person's
Might as well
opinion I
get it
want
out.
to get is Sarah Taylor's, because Sarah, you
just saw
started
it.
listening to me and Nathan, and that was the first thing we started covering was Umbrella Academy. Nathan told me, he said, hey, dude, here's what we should do. We should do news every week and then pick a show to cover, and we should start with the show Umbrella Academy. And I was like, I don't know. I don't want to watch it. He's like, trust me. Watch it. This is like verbatim what happened. He's like, trust me. Watch it, dude. So I watched it, and yeah, it was very, very good. Even though we technically never finished the first season review. We stopped on like episode 7
Yeah.
and a half. So we technically never finished that. But we got so busy.
But I
We blew
was
up.
right about the series being good.
We got tens and tens of followers now, dude. We can't
We
ignore
got-
them. You know?
We got all 16 people that are going to listen to this.
right.
All 16, they love it.
Yeah. But Sarah, start us out. What do you think about? Did you end up finishing your rewatch?
I did.
You did. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, because apparently there was something today. I was going to remote from work, and for some reason there was something wrong with our server, so I couldn't log in. So basically, it was just a basic free day for me.
Darn.
So I had gotten up to, I think I saw episode, like the first 3, like a little bit, like a while back. Because I think I mentioned to you guys I had gotten to that point. Gotten to that point, and it takes probably about episode 5. I would say that when you really get sucked in.
Right. Yeah.
Because
I
once
say
I got
4,
to that
but yeah, I
point,
agree.
because I started thinking, kind of like I told you guys in the DM, I was like, man, it's like once you start seeing that story unfold, you're like, whoa, what's, just peeling back layers. You're diving down deeper. You're seeing everybody's backstory. You're seeing everybody's relationship and how it's doing this, that, and other. Because I knew there was something up with Vanya. There had to be a reason that she was in that house.
Yes.
And especially when I started, when you saw her taking the medication, I said something's being repressed. Something is being repressed.
Yep.
And finally, once, and I did enjoy, like I said, seeing everybody else's backstory. You see how Luther, how he got to be how he was, and Klaus. I mean, it was interesting to see his storyline, because when you first meet him, you're thinking, this guy, how is this guy still alive? I mean, seriously, how is he still alive? I mean, he's like Keith Richards. I mean, how is he still alive?
He's like Greg. Like, how is this guy still alive? Look at all he does. How is he?
I mean, he's
still
like
alive?
the straight base, living on chemicals. But I mean, he was one of the characters. I mean, I really liked his storyline, because I'm thinking, it takes a lot, because for his ability, I totally understand why. He was like, chemically induced, trying to suppress everything. But
I'd be high as a mother effer all day long too if I saw dead people all the time. Like they would interact with me.
Exactly.
Oh, God.
And then
I'd be drunk and high. I'd be sleeping all the time.
Who was it? Number 6.
Find me a pool of puke.
Number 6, that was Ben, because that was the ghost that he kept seeing. So I mean, you really didn't hear too much about him other than like the very first couple of episodes where you're thinking,
I want more on him.
I think you're going to get more next season.
Yeah, it looks like he's more present.
So it's going along, and you get to the storylines, and it's just, man, the writing on this was really cool. I mean, I don't know what the comic is. I mean, I don't know what
the guy who wrote this is the lead singer of a famous band. I can't remember the name of it.
R.E.M.
My Chemical Romance.
My Chemical Romance, yes.
Gerard Way.
Calling names out.
Yeah. Like, and that's like, this guy's like multifaceted talented. You know what I mean? Like, he's
and the music was pretty cool too. The music kind of,
I think he was executive producer on this.
The music's one of the best parts of this. I think
it really is.
Perfect. The soundtrack's great. I mean, everything's perfect on that. I agree. It's one of the best parts.
Yes, but once you started getting to, 10 episodes? Once you got to like 7, you're just, whoa. I mean, it was like literally cliffhanger.
Yeah.
I was like, what is going on? And that's all I got to say.
Yeah.
I mean,
yes.
I'm just, wow, that was really, it was fantastic. I mean, I think I probably watched half of, like the back half of 5 all the way up to 10 today.
Okay, so you saw the good stuff, the meaty stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I hear you.
And the way they ended it, which the whole apocalypse thing, that was kind of crazy because you didn't really know if it was really like the end of the world, if it was just this one thing with them. And man, those kids or those guys, girls, how they're still functioning adults it just blew my mind.
Oh yeah.
Because, oh my gosh, it was insane. It was insane.
Oh yeah.
I loved it. It was great. It was. Thank you guys.
Oh, no problem. Hey, thank Nathan. Like I said, I wouldn't have watched it without him, but I'm so glad I did. What about you, Lisa? Overall thoughts on it? I
loved this show, and I don't know. The soundtrack is incredible. I love how stylistically. I just love everything about the way it looks and the way it's shot, and there's just so many fun characters, including the main cast that I really like. I also liked, like Hazel and Chacha.
Yes.
Those are names, right? Yeah.
Yes.
Love them so much.
They're the best.
Yeah, they're awesome. I think Hazel's the guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
He was on Mindhunter. He plays the serial killer, big dude. I can't remember which serial killer it was, but anyway, he was chilling in that show. And then I see him in this show and I'm like, that guy seems so familiar, but they're such opposite performances. I didn't realize it was the same guy at first.
Yeah.
Really?
Just little plug there. But yeah, I love all the characters. It's hard to pick a favorite. I think I told you guys I am partial to 5 because he reminds me a lot of that Wes Anderson movie Rushmore, if you've ever seen it. He's like totally channeling Jason Schwartzman and even kind of looks like he's in the same uniform. Like, just doesn't feel like an accident to me. I've never read the comics, but when I've seen like pictures of the comics, it seems wildly different. Like a lot more toned down from what the comics look like to me. And yeah, but I haven't actually read them, so I don't know for sure. The twist with Ellen Page, I did see coming. I was like you said, Sarah, I was like, there's got to be a reason. And like, the more they downplay her, that makes me think she's like the most dangerous. And then there's that guy, and I never trusted him. It seemed really coincidental every time. Yeah, very creepy. And maybe some of that too is just because she like looks younger than she really is, so that highlights how creepy. I don't know, but I don't know. I really, really loved it. I thought it ended amazing. I was like, I don't know where they're gonna go, but I remember being like, I can't believe this is the last episode and I have to like wait. So I've been waiting like this whole time. Just the second we got that trailer for this season, I was like, yay, it's coming back. Like, just what I need. Well, I've kind of caught up on all my other shows, and I'm like,
that
I need this show back.
I heard a rumor you punched yourself in the face. He's like,
Nobody's talked about Allison yet, but we're going to for sure. Real quick, Nathan, I definitely want your thoughts. But Chris, how far did you get on this? Because I know you started to watch it.
About, I think I'm either at episode 4 or 5 now.
So that's right where it really starts to pick up.
Okay,
in my opinion, like right between those episodes.
My opinion also.
Yeah.
I'm not totally sold on it yet. It's not like I don't necessarily dislike the show. I think maybe Doom Patrol's kind of spoiled me in the sense of
I've heard that a lot. Like some people feel like it's the bad version.
I don't even equate it to I don't even equate it to that. I just think that I'd say, oh, Doom Patrol does better. No, I totally get the idea that these are two entirely different shows. Just to say it's a Doom Patrol ripoff or anything. I think that's really not an appropriate thing to say about this show. I think I'm just not there yet.
Yeah,
you know, it hasn't sold me yet. I still got to make my way through it. Just been busy weeks. So I haven't gotten past either 3 or 4 or 5 episodes. Everything runs together these days right now. But
especially when you think something's a slog.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't even call it a slog. It's just like I haven't hit that moment yet.
Right.
Yeah, a slow start. It really does. I agree with that because that was kind of where I was hitting at too. Because you guys are sitting there thinking, "Oh my gosh!" I'm like, at what point is this going to be fantastic? Because there is a lot of uphill to it before you hit the.
I don't know. I was in from episode 1.
Same.
I don't know why. Like I was in from the go.
Me too. I think part of it was, I think I saw this before Doom Patrol.
I definitely.
And I think that influenced it greatly. I didn't really see. I know, Chris, you weren't saying that they're exactly the same, but I've just heard that a lot. And so I think maybe my perception of it was changed by the fact that I saw this first. Yeah. And it kind of starts off as a different show almost at first, because a lot of the flashbacks to where they're in the school or the Umbrella Academy. And I just love the concept of that. So that kind of pulled me in. But if you're not like feeling that, right away, then I could totally see like, well, where is this going? But it does go to some really good places. It's definitely doesn't have the emotional complexity that Doom Patrol has, but it's got a great story. Yeah. Nonetheless.
And you don't have to worry about not finishing it yet, man, because I haven't even started my end of the deal yet, and I haven't even started watching what's it called, that Michael Jordan Love Fest.
One of the best documentary sport
that was the deal. Was I was going to watch that, and he was going to watch Umbrella Academy. So by this weekend, I will have at least half of that done, of the Michael Jordan Love Fest.
I feel like the first time I came on, you guys were talking about that.
It always comes back to something.
It's been an ongoing. It's been an ongoing battle.
I'm not as I'm more of just big on. I don't add to the whole Nathan and Travis.
I ain't said nothing. This is all.
Yeah, you haven't said anything. So it'll be Travis.
This is Travis's court.
But yeah, Travis.
You egg it on though, Nathan. You egg it on sometimes.
I do nothing of the sort ever.
Yeah, I see it every Tuesday.
Yeah. Travis comes on C3 Panthers podcast just to troll me about Michael Jordan and LeBron.
MJ is like MJ is the goat. I mean, that's all he says.
And it gets so many people talking in the chat room. I'm like, guys, we're talking Panthers right now. But Umbrella Academy for me, it's one of those things. Now, when I first watched it, it didn't really catch me until about maybe the end of episode 4, beginning of episode 5. That's when I really started to get into it, because then the characters. Now I have a basis for where the story's going, and I have an idea of what's going on. In my rewatch, I think Nathan, I texted you as soon as I watched the first episode again. I was like, man, that opening scene was so great. The scene with Vanya and the violin, and it's introducing every character 1 through 7. Yeah, such a great scene. When I first watched it, I didn't think that, because I didn't know anything about the characters.
You didn't know them,
right? So I think that this show is a better show on the rewatch. Even though I was pretty amazed with it by the end of the first time I watched it, the rewatch was just so much better. And you were talking about Hazel and Cha-Cha earlier. Who is it that plays Cha-Cha? Is it Mary J. Blige?
Yep.
That plays Cha-Cha?
Yeah, I couldn't believe that. I was like, in my head, I went, that's not her, right? Like, I couldn't believe it was her.
Yeah.
And then I Googled it, and I was like, oh my gosh, what a queen, yay.
See, I almost didn't say it because I didn't want to sound that dumb.
Me too. I was like, that's not her. I'm just going to sound dumb. And I frequently say the wrong actor. Yeah. Like, y'all don't know that about me, but if you're watching a movie with me at home, I'll say that. And Nick's like, it's not right.
Well, it's the same point with Klaus, because Robert
my favorite character.
Was it Mortal Engines? Because I had watched that movie previous to this. I'm sitting there going, where have I seen him from? Where have I seen him from? And then it just hit me. I was like, oh, well, he was a little more put together in that film versus this version.
Oh yeah,
he becomes such a wonderful character, though. Like the more you get to know him, he just
I love
evolves.
Klaus in this show.
Me too. He's the best.
Good. He's like my favorite character.
Well, it's funny because you mentioned, Rushmore for 5 at that point. I don't know. I get a real Tenenbaums feel with Ellen Page's character when they say you don't have powers, you're just adopted.
Yeah, that's true. It does feel very Wes Anderson. It feels like a Wes Anderson comic book universe for sure.
Oh yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, real quick, we have a guest coming. Not a guest. One of our hosts joining us again this evening, late. Mr. T-Bone Travis Hines. How you doing, buddy?
I knew it. His ears tingled.
I bet you watched Doom Patrol while we were recording, weren't you? Didn't you?
You hear Jordan being bashed at this point.
Yes, Chris. Michael Jordan loved this. Excuse me. I can
call it what I want. That's what it is. I can call it what I want. I promise you, as soon as went down LeBron when he retires, you think the same thing.
Yeah, I just finished watching Doom Patrol, actually.
Good deal.
Pretty bonkers.
Yeah, pretty insane. Well, let's finish talking about Umbrella Academy then. Travis, you started watching it, didn't you?
I watched the first episode.
First episode, okay.
I'm anxious to see more. It didn't draw me in with that first episode, just because there's so much else out there. But The Boys had a similar thing with me. I think it didn't really pick up for me until the third episode.
Okay.
Then I couldn't keep my eyes off it. So I'm assuming when it gets a little bit deeper, I might enjoy it. So.
Oh, yeah.
4 or 5.
Yeah, episode 4 and 5. Right. That's going to be the.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Well, real quick, so we can wrap this one up. Let's talk about. Give me a favorite moment, or something that stood out to you that was awesome in this show that you love and want to talk about, without being too spoilery for Chris, because he's going to watch the rest of it pretty soon. So
that's fine. I'll probably end up forgetting within a day or two.
I hear
we know that's how you are.
Nathan, start you off, man. What's like one of your favorite moments, like the thing you remember the most about the show that you loved?
I just like I said,
a moment you loved. How about that?
I just a moment in it. Probably the end battle with I love it when Klaus learns how to use his basically figures out he can do more than just see them, and he brings Ben back and starts kicking the shit out of him. I was like, oh, that's so cool. I just really like that end part, and everybody kind of just all came together. I just like the whole thing overall. I'm just ready for more. Okay, that was I love it. It was an unexpected hit.
There you go. Lisa, Sarah, y'all got one you want to point out?
Oh, where do I start? All of it's, like I said, episode 5 on is fresh right now, and I don't know. I think it was probably more. I think Luther's backstory kind of resonated with me a little bit more because, he's one. So he's the one, the leader. And, I always was why is he so big? Why is he so bulky? So when you finally find his backstory and then how he and Allison how they connect, I think that was something that resonated a little bit. But I can't pick just one because, like I said, it's Luther and Klaus. It's their backstories. You figure because they're so one-sided when you first meet them. Yeah. They just peel back everything and you're like, oh my gosh, they're so cool. I think Diego might be the only one that I really didn't resonate that much.
Okay.
He was cool. I got him.
Pseudo angry Batman.
Yeah.
Pseudo angry Batman.
Yeah, I just feel like his character was more from the surface. You can you can figure him out a little bit easier than the rest of them.
But that was
straight in your face.
Yeah, but that was one of my favorite characters. I like Klaus, and I think I like Diego the most, just because Diego's the most relatable, I think, to me. He really doesn't have superpowers other than being able to throw knives really, really well. I guess, pinpoint accuracy or kind of like a Hawkeye type deal.
Anything that curved,
but he also, I think, has the hardest time in this first season. I think he loses more than anybody.
Yeah,
he's got it rough.
He's got a complex about being number 2. He's not number 1.
And he's got a complex. And he honestly could make a very good argument that with what he's done and the way he's acted, he should be number 1. Just based on what's going on. One's been on the moon the whole time doing the yes sir or whatever, actually doing nothing. The other one,
but he's the soldier. Number one's the
Exactly.
good soldier, though.
Yeah,
but
You know,
he got-
that's
or
what
the
he was
stupid
trained
soldier,
for.
however you want to look at it, the naive soldier, I guess you'd say.
Mhm.
Well, he
But
gave
yeah.
up more because he was the one that stayed, and and he went to the.
That's true.
I mean, he was the one that was. I think
How
manipulated.
about when he went to the club? Okay, like that was another
was an
good
awesome
favorite
scene.
moment.
That
How
was an awesome
about
scene.
when Luther and Klaus were at the club? Like
Yeah.
that shit was awesome. When he's dancing and jumping around with his shirt
Yeah.
off, so that was hilarious.
Hazel
For
and
me-
Cha Cha
See,
getting
their
married.
roles were flipped because otherwise it'd have been Klaus
Mhm.
Raider versus Luther.
Mhm.
Like, dude, let's go.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Lisa?
I like the diner scene, where Five and Hazel and Cha Cha are really, there's like a shootout.
Mhm.
I think it's in the
Donut
diner
shop?
and
Yeah,
also
diner, don't shop diner.
yeah, and also like into the mall or whatever.
Yes.
I think he's followed there. And then I just love all his like time travel stuff. I don't know. I just like that character the best. I think because of
that
that.
kid plays a great role.
Yeah,
What about
he's a
his
really good
relationship
actor.
with Morris?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were talking
Yes,
about that.
I freaking love that.
Yeah. Hey, wouldn't you know it's like his Wilson, right?
Yeah, and I love the concept that he's like mentally an adult, but he's stuck as this little like
Stuck in that
snotty kid.
vibe, Yeah.
Yeah. So I really like him. And then I agree with you, Greg. I really like well now his name just left my brain. Diego. Yeah. I don't know why, but I never remember his name. Like I think because like you said earlier, he kind of is like a Batman type character, but and you don't see him as much. I feel like you don't get to learn as much about him as some of the other characters. I think the focus is more on like Klaus and Five and
Luther.
yeah, and some of the other characters. But I feel like I just liked his fighting style and I liked his attitude and stuff, and his bitterness. Really, the more you learn about him, the more it's pretty justified. And yeah, I like that character. So.
Well, the only real character we haven't talked about of the 7 is Allison now. None of us mentioned anything about her. She's a great character. I love the actress that plays that role. The power
I like
is
how
very
she messed
interesting.
her marriage up. You know what I mean? Because I like how she messed her family up, like her own, because she's like, she used her power on her kids and shit, which was like,
I
whoa,
would do that. I would.
Oh yeah, I have a feeling that if I could whisper in my kids' ear and they do what I told them to, I'm pretty sure I'd do it.
Hey.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'd do it. But that's coming from somebody who's old and has older kids. It's
Sure.
but yeah, I mean,
rumor
this
you'd
show
shut
is
the F up.
amazing. I can't wait for season 2. What'd y'all think about the scene of Hazel and Cha Cha getting stoned and going through the
I love all Hazel and Cha Cha, all of it.
What was the Hazel and Cha Cha thing you sent me? The Christmas special thing you sent me, Nathan?
Apparently there's a comic book run that they spun it off, and it was the Hazel and Cha Cha, and it just like they did Christmas or whatever. That's what it was. It was like a little tray, like a couple issues or whatever. I just thought that was fucking fantastic. I'd love to pick that up digitally or whatever, just see what misadventures they had.
Oh yeah, I'm interested to see if that's going to be an Easter egg in the next season.
But it's interesting how their characters develop, because when you first meet them, I'm thinking, oh my god, these people, they're just what the villains, introduced to the villains. But then as it progressed, you're thinking, you see that they become actually individual characters with their own issues, own problems, and that kind of thing. So, and how they kind of bulked against the handler or the commission, and how their roles, they kind of opened their eyes a little bit. So that was interesting on their story arc as well. So you didn't really have static characters. Everybody changed or evolved into something else. But I don't think anybody ever regressed. So
I don't think so either.
it was just every character is just you felt for them. It's like some shows where you have a villain. Okay, it's a villain, and that's it. It doesn't progress past that. But as far as Hazel and Cha Cha, Cha-Cha was a little more. She was a little more in depth, or she was a little more so than Hazel, because Hazel kind of opened his eyes up a little bit.
Everybody had a story arc. Everybody had something to do with the series.
Yes, I mean, and that was what was really interesting, because
whether it was big or small, they all had their own arcs that they went on their own journeys from episode 1 to the end. It's
even
like Luke, yeah, exactly. They had their, Luther learned how to be, he really come into his own and stop being so big, and Allison back with the family. Like I said, Klaus started to kind of accept his power. They all did. Vanya actually learning her powers and going. Like, it was just like everybody. We like, yeah, I like that. They all have their own journey.
Yeah, this show puts the image of these characters in my head, and I saw Creepy Carl on some show me and my wife were watching on Netflix. I can't remember the guy's name in the actual show.
Me either.
I want to say he was in Jack Ryan. I think he was.
He wasn't.
Okay.
On Amazon.
Yeah, that wasn't what it was. Me and my wife were watching somewhere. He was like a boyfriend main character, and I was like, I just can't see
Creepy
this guy
as
like this. Anytime I see him, I think he's creepy. Like he ruined it for me. Well, not ruined it, but he sold the character for me. So.
If you go back and listen to those early episodes, me and Greg, we could never remember his name. We just Creepy Carl, and that stuck. And that's exactly what he was.
Easy to remember. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. Like I said, the only thing we didn't really talk about was Pogo and the mother. Pogo.
Weird shit.
The mother, even crazier. When you find out everything about her and learn her story and what ends up happening to her, it's just insane. But season 2, man, I cannot wait. I think we're going to see a lot more Ben. I think we're going to see a lot more of the characters as kids in season 2 than we did in season 1. But I liked all the kid actors and I liked all the adult actors of all the characters. So either one works out for me.
Am I under the assumption Klaus is going to have a cult? Did that correctly?
It looks like it.
Okay.
Would that surprise you though?
No.
I mean, really? Would it surprise you? But all right, cool. Well, that's about all we got to say about Umbrella Academy. Unless you had something you wanted to point out.
Nope.
Anything else? Okay, cool. Let's get started about some Doom Patrol. Let's do Doom Patrol first. We'll do Stargirl last. I feel like Stargirl was more shocking than Doom Patrol this week. So let's do Doom Patrol first. Doom Patrol, and what is it called? Dumb Patrol? Dumb Patrol. T-Bone.
Which was hilarious.
You've been gone, man. You just watched it. Get us started with Doom Patrol.
How can you really ever lead into Doom Patrol? Because there's so many different things going on.
That's a good point.
At all times. I'm lost. I'm laughing. I'm scratching my head. I'm wondering what's going on. But I gotta say, I did call one thing right. Me and Greg reviewed this on DC Alliance this week. And Greg was pretty mad with the Chief for what he did with Robot Man. But I was guessing that he jettisoned him back to Earth, which is what he did. So I found that really funny. And even though we didn't get a lot of scenes, I really enjoyed Cliff's little journey there to get back to the mansion.
Yes. I like the little hole he left in the ground, indented in the ground.
The shout outs he was giving to that guy.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was fantastic. Because I wondered what was gonna happen. And then you first see it and he's like just coming straight down through the sign and into the that was funny, like the billboard he went through, because that was like what the dude that had what was his name?
Dennis?
Yeah.
No, Denise. I can't remember. The raptor's name was Denise?
I don't know. It was like one of those characters where, it was like in 1.5 episodes, but it's still stuck in your head. So that was pretty funny.
The real question for me is Cliff's clothes. Like, he went from space to Earth and
you're worried about science in this?
just a little bit.
I don't know. I think I might have to go rewatch that episode and count how many times he says "if."
Yeah, I did. I tried that one episode. I tried just to see how many times they said it in the first 5 or 10 minutes. I think it was like 44 times, and I was like, okay.
I think you might have surpassed it.
Just on the road. Just on the road, he surpasses it.
Yeah, it's insane. They like that word a lot in this show.
I thought it was hilarious, the little nod to Alan Tudyk being on Harley Quinn.
How it had I had to stop it and like rewind it. Did they do that on purpose? Like when they definitely did. Yeah, that was pretty cool. So apparently he's on Harley Quinn now.
Oh yeah,
he
plays Joker.
Okay,
multiple characters. Okay. Yeah, because he's Clayface too, and somebody else too. I think
he's a man of 1,000 voices.
Yo, give me another show to watch. Goodness gracious!
Oh my gosh, you have to watch that show.
The time.
It's so good.
I thought the first couple episodes, Lisa, they were trying to kind of be a little bit like Family Guy in terms of being over the top with the jokes and like we're rated R kind of thing, but then it really settled into its story, and then this whole second season has been all about that story.
Oh my
from
gosh,
the get-go.
it's so good. Yeah.
Amazing.
They leaned so hard into Bane and making fun of Dark Knight and just everything about it. I mean, the pit alone was just like, perfect.
King Shark is like one of my favorites. I like everything about him is awesome.
Yes, he's great. Yeah, it reminds me a lot. I was saying to one time I tweeted at the Holy Batcast that it reminds me a lot of a show called Venture Brothers. Like to the point where it's borderline copying it. Like the voices, the character designs, everything is so similar. I've often wondered how they feel about it, but but if you like that, you would like that show too. It's really funny. But you're absolutely right. The first couple episodes, I was like, this is kind of trying too hard, and then as you keep watching it, you're like, I can't believe how funny this is. It's so good.
Yeah, I definitely need to check it out. I've heard good things about it. I heard it started off kind of crazy, but it's gotten better since then. So maybe I'll give it a chance now. Use that DC Universe app for something else.
May as well while you still can.
That's right. Sure, right. Exactly. There you go. Scored number 3. So
sorry about that.
No, you're fine, man. Dude, that's what we do here. Let's see. Sarah, talk to me about Doom Patrol.
Oh, what were those things called? Scants?
I love that.
Scants.
What is going on here?
I loved it.
Oh my gosh. Well, the other thing too was, I guess, with Miranda, with her popping up and taking over as being the lead, and James stuck back under in the other round. That was pretty interesting. That Candlemaker, dude, I don't know what to think about that dude.
I know.
Something, because he was alluding to the fact that Dorothy's grown up, so now he's, I guess, more powerful, because what was it?
He has
was
more
it her
influence
mother,
on her,
but kind of like the people before, her ancestors brought him forth, or what? That guy, man, he's gonna be stout. Yeah, that's gonna be kind of crazy, because for Niles to be as afraid as he is, that. There's got to be some ancient power up in there somewhere.
Well, let me ask you, Sarah. What do you think at the end of that he's contemplating? Killing Dorothy, right? That's got to be what he's contemplating, right?
I didn't know. I didn't pick up on that.
No, you don't think so? The talks with his friend, what's his name?
Willoughby Kipling.
Yeah, I keep going to say Willoughby. Kipling. I feel like that's kind of what they're alluding to. Is that he's made the choice that he has to kill her.
Because I think with that confrontation with Candlemaker, I think it's getting real now. It's where Candlemaker's he's pulling power.
What's the next episode? What's the next episode count? 8, 9, 7.
Next episode is the next to last, right?
Yeah, so it's
7. Yep.
Or 8. Yeah.
So I got a good feeling that next episode is going to be about the plot to kill Dorothy. And last episode is going to be about the execution of handling said threat with Candlemaker. But
maybe not, because they didn't get to film their 10th episode, so they didn't really get to plan. They just said, episode 9 will be a fine cliffhanger too. Nathan,
episode 9 is titled Wax Patrol, so something tells me they're going to have a run with the Candlemaker.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you might be right.
Maybe they'll do something wacky with the last episode, like make it animated, or figure something out so they can end it.
That would fit perfect.
Actually. What do you think, Lisa? Some thoughts you wanted to point out about Doom Patrol this week?
I love the concept of the skits so much. I loved when we saw them, and when we finally get to see them. Well, I love the little cartoon they showed explaining them, and then when you actually get to see them, I was like, yes, just keep upping the wackiness of this episode. I don't know why, but I just really enjoyed this episode a lot. Plus, Larry, bless his heart, dumb Larry is my favorite version of Larry, officially.
I love it when he's like, I got this.
They'll just,
I got this. These two bitches, she just looks at him, she goes, she just how dumb are you? I got it.
They'll never see her. They'll never really get through our disguises. What he says.
Oh my God, I laughed I actually laughed out loud there. I said, this is hilarious. You're that stupid.
I caught onto it slowly too. There's that moment where he tells, is it Miranda, or what's the name of
Miranda?
Miranda.
No, it was Zip. It was Flint, the one that can teleport. That's the one.
Well, that's the one in the hospital.
Oh yeah.
But it's Miranda that he's getting along with. Yeah.
when he tells her, like, I feel like I can really trust you. I was like,
Yeah,
it's
it
not
was
something he would
Flint.
normally say. And then it just keeps getting worse and worse. And like me and Nick were like, me and my husband were like, oh, he's dumb. Something is making them dumb. And I was like, I automatically already love this episode.
The coat, just the coat and the clipboard, and they're like, we got this. So like the music that's playing and the way they're strutting in, like, God, it was perfect.
I'm here to see my son. I mean, patient. They'll never see past this.
Right. No, I love
the surgery. Oh, go ahead.
Oh yeah, the surgery. Yeah, the surgery's great.
Yeah, I'm gonna perform surgery. She's like, just smiling.
One thing I was really impressed with was how Miranda could cycle through the personalities using the powers rather quickly. Like, we never seen Jane do anything close to that
quickly. No, there was always a life or death.
Yeah, like she switched a couple powers there. Like, pretty instantly, and everybody was having a big celebration in the underground after it was over. Like, Jane even said, "This has never happened before with me."
And then what did the lady say to her? Down. The lady said, what did it say about Miranda? Miranda doesn't pout like a bitch.
Yeah, that was just hilarious.
That's how I was going to start the show, but I was like, no, I shouldn't start the show with bitch. I should be deeper into the show, when kids stop listening. But
we have kids that are listeners.
If kids are listening to this, you go to bed right now. You are in trouble. You go upstairs and wait for your father.
No, Nathan, I won't.
What do y'all think? Oh, I had a question I wanted to ask. Dang it!
Can I say something?
Say something, because I got to remember.
No, you can't. Go back to your corner.
Like, how does Robot Man? How does Cliff survive? Because like he's burnt. Does his clothes not burn up in the atmosphere? Did his legs not melt?
Not that leather jacket doesn't. Yeah,
I posed that question a little while ago, Nathan, when you stepped out, and Chris told me basically comic book science.
Yeah.
Well, I need to know.
It's made out of the same material that Superman's whole getup is. That's why nothing burns and gets destroyed out of that.
In DCEU, right?
Well, it's the same idea of like just paint the front of yourself white.
Well, how did the wiring inside of him that's from like the '60s not melt? How did that happen? Like, how does his wiring not melt? How does his just doesn't weld into a?
Stop asking the obvious questions.
When you have to explain the joke, it's not funny anymore.
Hey, but I do love that he said F like 47,000 times in this episode. I was like, geez, Cliff, scale it back. And if I'm saying that, come on.
Yeah,
we were like, Cliff's back, the old Cliff.
Yeah, the one that says F every other word. Oh wait, that's been the entire time he's been
every
here.
word.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I thought it was really cool the how they revealed the release of the gas. They get this box and it says "Do not open" like 7 different ways on like 7 different sides of a six-figured box. It's like and Willoughby even says that he's like, dude, it said it here and capital letters here and here and here, and they still opened it because they had that little whiff beforehand.
Well, yeah, because Cyborg goes, no, this is a good idea. He's like, I think it's a good idea to open it or whatever. The way he said it, I was laughing my ass off. He's like, yeah, it just pops it right open.
Yeah. What do you think about Cyborg and is it Ronnie?
Ronnie,
Ronnie's relationship? Developing into something you think she's going to be a bigger character in the future? Or she's just this season thing going on?
She's grown on me.
What's her name? Yeah, I like her. I don't know what the actress's name is, but I like her in this role.
Yeah, I do too. Mm-hmm. She does a great job in the role. Their chemistry together is great.
Yeah. That's why I like her so much.
It's made him more interesting, I think.
Yes.
It sounds weird, but it's like for a long time I felt like I didn't understand where he fits in the show. Mm-hmm. Like, I like him. I think the actor's doing a good job, but I just kept feeling like there's something missing. And weirdly, like, when they're together, I don't know, he just makes more sense to me somehow.
Well, she kind of like...
She goes, you live with the mom?
Yes, she had everything removed because, in essence, she was like him.
Right, right.
Cybernetic type deal. And so she had all hers removed. And so, I mean, it's like he's finally found somebody that he can relate to, in essence.
Yeah.
Which is going to be a bigger deal too, because she was like the cybernetics were by Niles and Star Labs, so that's definitely going to be revisited.
Yeah.
Yeah. It could be something they're setting up for in the future. It could be something that ends up saving the day in the end. Like, you never know. I like their relationship going forward, though. Tell me about the relationship with. I had this one just in my head a second ago, and now I can't remember what I was going to say. I hate when I have a question like that. Oh yeah, the relation. What do you think about Cliff and his daughter at the end? Like, how crazy was that?
I
was
love
nice.
that he couldn't find. Remember that was what was it? 2 episodes ago. He couldn't find the tape. Where's the goddamn tape? He's walking around the whole mansion looking for it, and then boom, this showed up. That's where the tape was. But I want to know who said, did Niles send it?
Oh, for sure.
She said Niles sent it. She said it was sent from Niles. Yeah.
Yeah, she did
and that's,
say that.
That's why I think them stressing this episode about him wanting to kill Niles and him being so mad at Niles, in the end, it makes it like, oh crap, it's like foot and mouth type deal. What do you think? You think that's going to be a big part of his future? You think she's going to be a part of this show, like a big part of the story, or it's kind of just a one-off thing?
But I think it's going to be one of those things where they can mark that off as storyline, where they
maybe
you know what I mean? Like there's a reconciliation or at least an understanding. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She knows it wasn't his fault. He was a piece of shit, but he wasn't. It wasn't his. He didn't just disappear on her. That kind of piece. You know what I mean? Like.
True.
He was a bad
bringing back his
there,
humanity too.
Yeah.
Because he's a robot, so it's like
exactly like connecting with his daughter that gives him a heart, basically. You know what I mean? Like you said, reconnect with his humanity, really.
I'm really ready for him and also for Larry to have some reconciliation because
some peace.
I'll be honest, I was getting to the point with both those characters where I'm like, I get it, but at the same time, like this is like a little too much punishment for both of them, and it's like getting not fun, right? Like it's too sad.
Rita's kind of getting like that with me right now, where like I get the storyline, but like okay, I'm ready for this storyline to be done. I want you to be the superhero you can be. I get it. Your mother did this, and I think that after this episode, that really helps her out. I think the beekeeper.
How creepy was that?
Yeah, I think
Am I the only one? Am I the only one? She's like, "How did you help, mother?" When that girl, I'm like, "What just happened?" Oh God! Yeah. She did that the creepiest way ever, and I didn't think I'd ever say that.
Yeah, it's like I'm ready for all of them to like have some healing and like move forward a little bit, But I still really love the show. But some of those storylines, I'm like, it's like I want to wrap them up.
How long are you gonna play it? How long?
Yeah.
Well, 2 episodes ago, I was all happy for Larry. I'm like, he's gonna reconnect with his son.
That really upset me.
And then he's like, he pulls a gun on me. I'm like, you mother effer! And then they come in.
And everything he says is like true, like I'm like from his perspective, I'm like, wow, how do you fix that? Hey, but I'm glad his grandson isn't dead because I was like, when that happened, I was like, this is a little much, honestly. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I was like, it's too much for this character to like process and get through. I think so. Him being alive opens the door for maybe they can fix this.
I like Rita actually like. Using
she finally
her beekeeper lady or whatever she was, but I love that she actually did it. Like that's the first step to her controlling it. But I love that she stood like Superman in her little beekeeper outfit, and I was like, that is awesome.
I love what she says too. She's like, "Did that sting?" And I was like, "Oh, that's so fitting." So
she's
fitting.
Batman and Robin.
Yeah, I'm with y'all. I'm ready for these characters to develop into a team, and I don't know. I've never read the book, so I don't know if maybe that's what they do in the future. They become, they're unproblematic and have, But the characters have definitely grown on me. Cyborg, I've gotten past the look. I love the guy who plays the role. I think he does a great job. I think today, looking at it, I figured out why I feel like the look doesn't match with me well. It's because it feels like it's something that's placed on top of his skin rather than something being part of his body. It looks like he's wearing a mask as opposed to
you can tell
being his body. They could do a little better job of that, but the character nails the role. I love him as the character.
Oh, he's a great actor.
Yeah, great actor, does a great job. That takes me past that point of that look. Like I can get past that look and start to enjoy the character a little more. Yeah, this show's great, man. One of those ones I didn't like to begin with. Started to do the rewatch. I think once it felt like it wasn't homework anymore and I was watching it because I wanted to, I liked it a lot more. It's really, really surprising, and every week I don't know what to expect, and I'm surprised by the end of the episode. Although the end of this episode wasn't as shocking as the last 2 weeks. Last 2 weeks, I could not believe what happened at the end. This week it was, okay, got that, but it wasn't as big as the last 2 weeks. But I guess you can't knock my socks off every week. So
from what I've read and heard, because we know the season was cut short by an episode at that point, it sounds like they filmed what they needed to film, and they wrapped up pretty much everything that they need to. You're going to get some finality with this. Not all questions are going to be answered. We're going to get a majority of finality with the final episode.
Right. Yeah. Well, y'all got anything else you want to say about Doom Patrol this week? About what was it called? Dumb Patrol. I like
Yeah.
the names,
Dumb
the
Patrol.
idiot type thing. That was pretty cool. But
I'm gonna take the idiot.
I like how we got another appearance from the sex demons. You know, we're just gonna start seeing them once an episode. We're just gonna see the
that's kind
sex
of
demons banging
Cliff
out.
said it. Is this a normal thing that's going to happen every week type thing? Yeah.
I like it that it was during him leaving a message. It was just like, oh, you just hear everything in the house.
Well, Jerry Seinfeld's a Superman fan, and if you watch Seinfeld, there's a Superman shot. There's a Superman symbol in every single episode. So maybe this will be their thing. They'll just be two ghosts effing in every episode from now on. You'll just have to find them.
Yeah.
Controversial opinion.
Where's
Seinfeld up here, Friends down here.
Oh no, that's totally not a
That's not-
controversial.
that's-
I was going to say, you know what?
Objectionable
I love
facts,
Friends, but
Lisa.
I will watch Seinfeld any day of the week over Friends.
I like
just
them
personally.
both, guys. Like,
I like them
Seinfeld,
both, but
I put them both right
Frasier,
here. I watch both of them right
Friends.
now.
That is a very appropriate order, Lisa. Totally agree.
Thank you.
Cosign.
I think age plays a part
I'll watch
sometimes too.
either
If
one.
you grew up in that time, you
Yeah.
agree with that. But like young people love Friends, and I'm just trying to figure it out. You know?
Friends
Netflix.
is good. It's
Netflix.
not as
Yeah,
it's
but you can
very
watch Seinfeld,
contrived.
too.
Like the story is made. It's very played out. It's very predictable. It's one of those everything works out perfectly always.
Hey,
You know.
Greg.
See, I'll even
Join
go.
fun,
I know.
okay?
Right?
Just join
Is that
fun,
what you're
okay?
gonna
It's
do?
not that deep, all right?
That was
Yeah,
fun,
It's not that deep.
I'll even go more out there too. I am a bigger fan. If you want to see like a better version of Friends, watch Coupling on the BBC. That's the show's over. The
Oh
series over.
yeah.
4 seasons of it. They tried to bring it over in the
it's
US.
the
and I just had
BBC.
the worst idea, but oh my gosh, Coupling is so much
Do
better.
you say that with your monocle and your white gloves when you're drinking tea with your pinky up? Is that
All right.
Pinky's
Hey.
out.
I'll take Office over Friends any day. To be true, I like
Yeah.
Friends, but I'll take Office over Friends any day. And I'm getting to the point now where I'll probably
take
take the show
Seinfeld and
Community
Frasier
over
over
Friends
both.
because I'm just now watching Community for the first time. What an awesome show!
Oh my gosh.
Awesome show. I
Four
love that
seasons
show.
or
That show is
so.
great.
First 4 seasons.
So yeah. You know what? I'm watching the 5th season right now. You're right. The 5th season is kind of tailing
People start
off
to
a little bit. It's like, okay, maybe they should have stopped
That's
this.
That's the
Yeah.
unfortunate thing with ensemble casts.
Which show?
Some people get
Community?
too big stars and you lose them, or
Yeah.
they're too controversial, a la Chevy Chase,
Yeah.
and you lose them. It sucks. I would even go Parks and Rec over Friends, to be honest.
I
with
couldn't
you.
get into Parks and Rec. I love Office.
What?
Parks and Rec was just like I feel like I'm watching the same show again, just in a different
Chris?
Yeah.
The first season, I'm with you. I watched the first 6
Yeah,
episodes
that's
and,
true.
and gave
Okay.
up on it. And then midway through the
Oh.
second season, Rob Lowe and Adam Scott come into the
Okay.
show, and
Yes.
it finds its footing. It stops
I'll-
trying to be an Office clone, and
All
it's
right.
such a good
Good.
show.
Okay.
Like,
That's
The
what I
Office is
felt
like
like.
that, too.
I fell off the Parks and Rec after the first season,
Yeah.
and it's just
Yeah,
like ugh,
same
I
No,
here.
need
the
to-
first season's bad. You're
they
not
get
wrong.
rid of
Yeah.
they get rid of that boring guy. I can't remember the guy's name now.
Chris Pratt.
No,
No, he's
the linchpin of the show.
Was it like
I
Jim
can't remember.
Danowitz or something?
Yes,
I can't
there
remember.
You go,
Yeah,
something like that. But he's very forgettable.
he's
Okay.
He ends
awful.
up
Yeah.
Yeah, he. And
Oh,
they get
that
rid
sounds
of him.
bad. I mean, I don't mean the actors.
His character. His
Character wasn't written great, but
You're
yeah,
about to
I
get blocked-
Tell us
you're
how
about
you
to get
really
blocked
feel,
by another
Lisa.
person.
I know. I have a lot of controversial opinions about comedy too. Like for me, like Parks and Rec, and then 30 Rock, and then other.
They don't sound
popular shows.
controversial.
Yeah,
No,
they
that
sound
sounds
pretty
like
good to me.
I don't think you're controversial.
Yeah.
You fit in this group pretty well. Nathan, if
Okay,
you haven't
good.
checked it out, man, check it on Netflix. Watch Community, dude. You'll love it. It's a great show. Great show, dude. I'm loving
Especially
it.
Joel
It is.
Hale. Oh my gosh. Oh.
That's why, yeah, I love Joel.
Starman.
Awesome actor.
Oh,
Starman.
there we go. Let's start getting
Okay.
into it.
My choice for Green Lantern. But, it's not going to happen. All right, yeah. You know what? We end every little segment or little show with a squirrel. So that was our squirrel right there to end Doom Patrol. I'm talking about Office and all that good stuff, which, by the way, Office was not great the first season. It's the second season it really picks up. First season was okay. Second
What
season it
happened?
really picks up.
I thought we were getting back on track. What happened?
Let's get back on track.
You derailed as soon as you turned the wheel back to the road. You just
Okay,
yanked
I'm
it
behind the
back
wheel.
other way.
I'm behind the wheel, so
Hey,
y'all just
hey,
trust me.
but I think the first time I've ever knew about The Office was I had no connection to it and only came into it within the last year. I just binged all the seasons at that point.
Great.
But the one joke even before watching it I loved was Jim saying, so what from time to time I'll send Dwight. I stole some bunch of stationery from Dwight, and I'll send him a fax every
From the
morning
future.
from himself from the future.
Yeah.
Yeah, I fell out of my chair laughing and had no reference to The Office.
Yeah.
I said, "Oh my god, that's hilarious."
Yeah, that was a great episode too. 100%.
Yeah, wait till your younger kids find it, and then you get sucked back into it.
My younger kids are finding it. That's my go to sleep show. I have like every episode recorded on my DVR. So like I just turn Office on. Mark's like, "Are you going to sleep?" I'm like, "Yep," because it's my go to sleep. Because I've seen every episode probably 100 times. I've probably seen more of The Office than anything else in my life.
How bad of a parent am I that my 10-year-old he will say that's what she said?
Look, I got a 10-year-old. He could say a lot worse. Trust me. All right, so let's get into this last part here. Last part of the show, Stargirl, probably the most amazing show I've seen this week.
It was all right. Let's just skip it this week.
Yeah, let's just stop ripping off.
Everyone would be like, record
I know.
This week's show was crushing, literally crushing.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, it did not take me where I thought it was going to go. I thought even down to the last second things were going to go differently, but then I saw what happened, and I couldn't believe it. And this show has some big brass balls, and
it squished them.
Yeah, well, you try to squish brass balls, you can't. That's the point. But this show seriously has some guts for what they've done so far. The writing's amazing. It's going to the CW, and I hope the CW doesn't ruin the show. No offense, Travis. I hope CW doesn't ruin the show by making it 20.
Travis.
I love the CW, but
you are their
side
spokesman.
shot.
You are their
I never said
right?
Arrowverse or Arrow, Greg. Arrowverse or Arrow.
Okay, I got you.
I need a distinction right now.
Yeah.
Fuck off.
Get it right, Greg. I hope that whenever they go to CW,
how much he loves the show, and then side shoots me and keeps going.
I hope that they don't take the show down, and I hope that they don't make this show 23 episodes and put a lot of filler crap in there that I don't want to see. I want to see episodes like I've seen so far, where every episode I'm interested in exactly what's going on the whole time, and I'm so excited after it gets done to see the next one. And this show leaves me with that every single week. So, Lisa, I don't think I started with you.
Fun facts. Feel the same way. Fun fact. Feel the same way. Just want to put that out there.
Brother,
okay. Okay.
Lisa, I don't think I started with you with anything tonight. Start us off.
Oh no, you're fine. Two things just to piggyback off of what you said. Number one, I think you're actually right about the format of the show. It seems like almost nothing is staying on the DC Universe app.
Yep.
I mean, we've been
Just
seeing
like
that
Titans.
coming, but I feel like there was no other option. Like, I think either it had to go to the CW or it's picked up by HBO, and it's really not HBO material as great as it is. It just doesn't have the tone that like Doom Patrol did, so I can see why it went there. But man, it is a concern. As much as I love the Arrowverse, and I do love it, but there's been some missteps, and I have said several times this year that Stargirl is doing everything right. And so I want that to continue. This episode was no different. I think you're alluding to the surprise deaths that happen in the show that really give the story stakes. And it's super exciting. The villains are extremely strong and compelling in the show, and man, that last scene, it's stuck in my head, and just the credits, rolled, and I was like, wow, this show is so good.
Yeah.
Those are my thoughts.
100%. Sarah, give me some thoughts. You like Stargirl, right?
Oh, no, I don't like it at all.
Not at
I mean,
all.
it's horrible. No, watching this one, because I was really, especially with the title was what, Brainwave Jr.? You knew it was going to focus more on Junior,
Henry.
but it was, because I think when we discussed it last week, you didn't really know, because Courtney had introduced the idea of Henry joining their group, their JSA, and of course everybody was against it, other than
Beth, I think.
yes, other than Beth. She's like, yeah, that'd be great, and I was like, no, I don't think so. And
That likes everything.
Yeah, and then when they came back and talked about it again, Yolanda still had she has her reasons, and then the other fellow, I can't think of his name, but
He released the TTs.
yeah, he was, yeah. He was against it too because he was blaming Brainwave and all this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of like what I was saying about with Umbrella Academy, how you had villains that progressed. Well, in this one, okay, well maybe Brainwave, maybe he's not that big of a drug. He, when he woke up and he was missing memories and how his wife Mary was such a solid positive
influence
in his life.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinking, okay, maybe we can make a turn here. No. He's still a jerk. He's still an ass. It's still
they got me.
That static villain, and that's going to be because when you find out, because the revelation that Henry thought he made kind of pushed him over to Courtney's JSA, and then you find out that that wasn't true, and then it led up to the shocking end. Yeah, you're thinking and then I'm just thinking, man, what Brainwave's part in this whole new America, what is he going to bring to the table other than just powering up this machine? Is that it? Because he has absolutely nothing to, if you think people are that horrible, why are you still here?
And
what? Okay.
No, I agree with you. Honestly, Sarah, what you're saying right there, I think that he's going to be the key to the good guys winning in the end because he is simply a tool. Is all he is.
Absolutely.
He is simply a tool, and I think they're going to recognize that he is a tool, or he's going to recognize that he's a tool. He's going to recognize that he was basically forced to kill his family, and he is eventually going to turn. Because before he went back with Travis, what's Iceman's?
Dr. Ito. Dr. Ito.
Dr. Ito, but what's Julian? Is that his name?
Or Ito. Yeah,
Julian.
Icicle.
Yeah, Icicle. Julian's name.
Jordan.
Jordan. There you go.
Jordan.
Before it's something with a J. Before he went back with him, he seemed like he was on the. He even mentioned, "I don't remember anything from 10 years ago," which gives me the belief that he's been under some kind of mind control and/or spell for the last 10 years. He's been doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
So I think he's going to come back in the end and be a good guy that saves the day. Just my theory, But I also had a theory that Junior was going to be a big one, and then that didn't work out. So.
Again, you did not. You didn't see a body. You didn't see a body.
That's true.
That's true. But speaking of Jordan, it was interesting how you're starting to kind of see how I don't know if he's really making a play for Barbara or not.
He definitely is.
That's weird. There's something weird going on.
Not anymore.
There's no way if I'm Pat, I'm letting him. Nope. Sorry.
She's a little smart cookie because it's like, do you speak Norwegian? He said no. She's like.
Yeah, even what the parents were saying, like they like her, and there's something very creepy, and it's like he wants a blonde Norwegian wife. I don't know, it's very weird.
They were super creepy at the dinner as well when they were at the dinner. That weird grace they were saying.
And he got stuck in another bad situation between the two.
They've been weird across the board, but I can't get over how much I'm enjoying the show.
Yeah.
I went in so skeptical, thinking that it was going to be pretty terrible. And
it's pretty good.
I'm not a big fan of the last 3 seasons of The Flash, but this gives me the same feelings as the first season. Where after one episode ends, I want to watch another one. Even they had some more filler, obviously, with 23 episodes. But they had a good story. They had a plan from start to end. And they just went with it, and this feels the exact same way. I can't wait to see the final showdown. I'm also really curious, especially for people like Greg, to see what happens with the person that Barbara's been emailing with.
Yes.
Yeah, her dad, possibly.
Very much so, yeah. So whoever she's emailing with is still alive. Sylvester is not. So is she mistaken in who the father is? Was she promiscuous?
I've never thought that. I never thought that was her father from the beginning. To see the way she just jumped on it immediately, like that must be it. And like, whoa.
But doesn't she have that locket picture, and it totally
has
is
him
Bill
in it,
McHale?
right? It has
Is
Bill
it
McHale
smudged?
Definitely.
I thought it was smudged up. I don't know.
It's definitely
Well, we found out who Starman's sister was.
Yes.
Yeah,
you find
that
out
was
that
a reveal.
her cousin, which is crazy.
Who knows? Who knows? We're cousins. You sure about that?
That's pretty insane.
He's not even saying he still pops up every now and again.
I just love how he didn't follow in his father's footsteps.
Yeah.
Like we see that's a big theme of this whole season. I've been talking to Greg about that multiple times on DC Alliance. That like, will you just follow in your parents? Like Rick is automatically following in his parents' footsteps. Same thing with Sydney with the ISA. Same thing with Courtney, who thinks that her father was in the JSA. It just goes on and on like that. And we see Henry being like, no, Dad's evil. I'll never go that way, and stand up against him and help out other people. And even look and say, like, people are still good. And like, after hearing all, like when he's in the hospital, hearing all the terrible thoughts of people, like, I hope my, like, I can't wait for her to die. I'll get the house. I'll get the car. Just overall terrible thinking, and he's still coming out like that. The show has so much heart that, like I said, it reminds me a lot of the first season of The Flash.
Yeah,
Are they going to do like a? Oh, sorry.
No,
Are they going to do like a Palpatine kind of thing with Courtney? Like, what if?
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like, what if her dad's evil?
She's going to take that name regardless. She'll just be a Skywalker if she wants to. I'm Courtney Skywalker.
Courtney Queen. Courtney Queen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, how many people freaked out when Ito's hood came off?
yeah.
think
I
you
love
could
that
have had a
moment when
better
they
reveal.
screamed. They were like,
You're watching like, whoa,
It
whoa.
reminded me of Killer Croc from Suicide Squad a little bit.
But not as good. Now,
Yeah.
you did show me somebody shared a video in one of the group chats we have.
I did.
You did of him dancing.
I'll reshare it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I'm upset that we only got to see that for like literally 2.5 seconds, and that was it.
true.
You know,
Well, that was
like you got the makeup on there. Utilize that. Use it. Let's go. Like let's see that.
You better appreciate those 4 seconds you got, because that's all you're getting.
There you go, everyone. Now you can see it.
Did y'all think Grundy was getting out this episode?
Our man's he better not. If he can't even rip that door open, like Grundy gonna beat him.
Well, Grundy can't rip the door open either. Otherwise, he would have.
But
So I mean, obviously, it's a tough door to rip
there's
open.
magic on the door.
Yeah, that's true too. Greg Grundy can't open up the door. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah. So I mean, it's obviously a tough door to open, but that's going to be a big matchup at the end of the season. And at least 2 episodes, we're going to see.
only got an hour.
There's only 1 episode left.
He's only got an hour.
Superpower beat down.
Yeah, so.
I don't know. I'm ready to see Grundy. I think that Grundy is also going to be a big part in the good guys winning in the end, because I don't think Grundy likes being where he's at. Grundy's in a dungeon, trapped.
Yeah.
It's not like he's part of the team. He's being trapped by these guys. So I have a feeling that, like Sandman, you trap that guy for that long, he's going to be pretty pissed off when he gets out, you know?
What version of Grundy are they got? Is this like the mindless beast, or is this the one that retained? He's just
It
kind of
looks like the mindless beast.
dumb,
seems like
like
the mindless beast.
Yeah, it seems
He's
like
the
yeah,
mindless
that's what I
beast.
mean. That's what I'm saying. So, like, does he even know, or is it like, how would he know to get his attackers? Because if he was one that was just kind of like dumb or simple, I don't know the best way to put it, but has some intelligence, then I can see that. But I don't. He, like Travis said, he looks like the mindless beast.
Well,
like,
he has
where
to
he's
have
just
some kind of
vicious.
intelligence, though. He was sent to kill a particular group of people, or 2 specific people, and he did. So he obviously has enough intelligence to follow orders.
He was born on a
I
Monday,
understand, you know?
something on a Tuesday, and then Wednesday he was free to kill people.
Maybe.
And that's
It
how
could have
I
been
remember
as simple
going.
as it could have been as simple as a magician controlling him too, right?
That's
there,
true.
Oh,
there
that's
were
true.
several
That's very
other
true.
old members of the ISA that we haven't.
That's what I'm saying. That's
either
why I think
seen
magic
or they're not
closes that door. I think that's why he has to stay in there.
Yeah, but the
I think
magician's
they got it
dead.
magicked up.
The
But the
magician's
spell
dead.
doesn't die.
Are you sure?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. Greg, I don't know how
the
magic
Harry Potter
works.
rules.
Magic is made up.
Dude, you don't know how magic works? Come on, man. It's not made up. Have you seen Catch Me If You Can? Not Catch Me If You Can.
No.
What's the...
Magic.
Now you
Yes,
see
yeah.
me, right?
Now You See Me, yeah.
Yeah, no, you
Yeah,
see.
Magic's
catch me
not
if you
made up.
can. I was like, I don't remember magic in
Yeah,
that
it's
one.
not that movie. It's the one Lisa said. That's right.
Good movie.
I just
though.
want to.
Very
I want
good,
to
yeah.
recite the poem. I like that Grundy. Where it was Solomon Grundy, born on a Monday, christened on a Tuesday, married on a Wednesday.
Oh, I thought it was kill people on Wednesday.
Oh, God, how god awful was that the addition into Arrowverse of Solomon Grundy before this one?
Yeah.
It was very terrible.
Travis and his arrow talk.
Yeah.
I'm
Always
just
takes it back.
Yeah.
Well, I like seeing the little JSA crowd,
Hey,
walking through there. I mean, I like seeing everybody was in costume. Everybody was in their little.
Hey,
Well,
I'd
here
wear
we
Ally
think
Man's
about-
costume as a cosplay any day of the week. That is an awesome costume. I will wear that, no problem.
Which
You
one
can probably
did
get it
you
pretty
say?
cheap right
Is it
now.
Stargirl? What?
Power Man.
You do not want to see me in Stargirl's costume. Just letting you know. Like tight
What do
short
we think
spandex. does not
Hey, you
work
rock
for me.
those Daisy Dukes.
Doesn't
Go
work
for
me.
it.
That's right.
Yeah.
Tube top, no, doesn't work.
You might. No.
No, I mean it might. Yeah, you never know.
I was impressed how well that she fought without the staff.
I had that
Mhm.
written down as my next talking
Absolutely.
point. Yes, it's fighting
I was
without the
like,
staff.
whoa.
Mhm.
Okay.
Her gymnast skills, right?
Right, because
Wasn't she
gymnasts
like-
always
Yeah.
joust things and use spears and staffs to fight with.
I was impressed. I was like, okay.
I was too.
But no, she did do a very impressive. Well, it's just like Wildcat. Like you see the few scenes of her, she's like a boxing trainer, but all of a
Yeah.
sudden she is a badass whenever she is Wildcat. Which I want her to be a badass. I get that, but
Magic of the
Yeah.
Well, she actually has powers from when she puts on the actual costume. She's able
That's
to
true.
have the strength and agility of a cat. I think is what it is.
Yeah,
Mm.
Said.
because
It's
normally
been a while.
boxers can't climb walls.
The
I mean-
suit is endowed with it. She's Black Panther in the DC TV world.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the fight scene, like you said, Greg. Like the minions versus the essential JSA members. Well, Henry. I'm just putting Henry in the JSA for now. Henry, Courtney, and Yolanda. I thought that was a great fight scene. Yolanda should have probably went after the cosmic staff a little earlier.
Sure.
But even that, we didn't even talk about how funny that was. Like the cosmic staff is his own character and went off to try to kill Iceman.
Yeah. What's else to say?
Mhm.
I thought that was really interesting.
which is kind of dumb. Like I don't know why you would do that if you were Cosmic Staff. You obviously couldn't do it with Starman before. Why would you try to do it now?
Revenge, Greg.
Yeah,
Revenge.
revenge is it's very persuasive, I guess. Yeah, I mean this show is just amazing. It's so
Very
well
good.
written. They've done a great job right now telling a story that I'm so interested to see what happens next. To the point where I won't even watch or look at the title of the next show or watch the preview because I think Travis even told me, don't look at the preview for the next show. I'm not going to.
Preview for the next
Like
one.
I don't do that because I like to go in fully
I don't
surprised.
need it
you know?
either.
But what, 2 episodes left or 3 episodes left? Not long. I know Doom Patrol
I
and
think
this are about to come to an end.
There's 3 episodes. There's a Shining Night episode and there's two-parter in, so that'll be really good.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, as soon as this ends, we're going to have to pick up on Cybertron, the animated Transformer show. We're going to pick up on The Boys and Umbrella Academy. So we're good. We got content, y'all. Don't worry about that.
Yes.
Travis,
I'm
are
not
you willing
panicking
to
on
watch
DC Alliance
Transformers?
at all. Oh my God, yes, Nathan.
Okay.
Just make sure.
Greg, we're not panicking at all on DC Alliance. Not at all.
No,
These are two
DC
shows
news
that
is flowing very freely right now. Yes.
that we spend an hour talking about. No.
Yeah. But yeah, man, Stargirl is really, really taking off.
It's really good.
I'm excited to see it be a soft reboot for the DCCW, and I hope that they go a slightly different direction than they have been going in the last few years. You know, I mean, you take that for what you will. I just feel like they have too long of a season for every show, and I think that if they reduce that, you get better product out of the show.
Tired storytelling.
So, just my opinion, though. I'm not
for
smart
all
about
you
this
guys.
stuff, but
I have a question for all you guys. Why don't you think they would put this on HBO Max? Because I think it would be a good family program to have on there.
I think
it's not quite
Lisa hit it.
Doom Patrol, but I think that would actually be good for the whole family. But I guess I'm wrong on this case.
I think Lisa touched on this, and she actually nailed it on the head, I think, about how it's just not that tone for HBO.
But they got
But they're
Elmo
getting
on
ready to
there.
show Swamp Thing. They're getting ready to show Swamp Thing because they don't have anything to put in there. And that thing got a bit dark.
Well, yeah, that argues for the Stargirl not being on HBO is because of Swamp Thing. You know, that they go with the darker tone. You're right, they have Elmo on there, but I feel
Swamp Thing's
like
about to be on the CW. They said they were going to air that.
They got a new version of Looney Tunes. They have content for a young.
Yeah, that's a good
it would be
point.
smart. Would be smart to have content for all ages on your streaming platform.
that's true.
And this could be something that the whole
But-
family could sit down and watch. So I just.
But like you said, what if it's the reboot or the soft reboot or to integrate in with the Arrowverse? So it just make more sense to put it on the CW.
Well,
though.
yes, that's basically one of the only things I
Yeah.
can see, Nathan. But even then,
Yeah.
I would think that HBO Max would want those DC TV shows on their app. I think that was another problem of DC Universe.
Oh, I hear what you're saying.
The Arrowverse on the DC Universe app, I think, would have gone a long way.
Yeah.
Obviously,
Right.
international
Yeah.
availability would have
I
went a
think
long
so,
way
too.
as well. But
At least the first
just-
3 seasons of Arrow and Flash. Keep going with that. And
I'm just crossing my fingers because I'd love for it to go on HBO Max just to get more money pumped into the show. That's basically my reasoning for hoping it would go there.
Apparently, they just revealed that it's got around only 11 million subscribers.
HBO Max.
I seen 30. I thought I saw an article today where it had 35.
Maybe
million.
35. I didn't. Maybe if there like 11 million new additional subscribers. I don't know.
Not gonna lie,
I think
I haven't done mine yet.
That's right, Chris. Because the other part of that, I think the 24 million came from the HBO, like the already HBO Go. HBO,
Yeah, right. So that's where the
whatever
11
that's-
million was. Like totally new.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't got HBO Max yet. I'm waiting until closer to the Snyder Cut comes out. I want everything on HBO Max, but everything that's on there so far, I've already seen or have access to otherwise. So once it starts to become a point where I can't watch Doom Patrol on DC Universe, or I want to see the Snyder Cut or anything like that, yeah, then I'm buying HBO Max. But until then, they haven't sold me on anything yet that I want to see. I own all the movies they have on there that I want to see. I can watch all the shows they have on there elsewhere. So give me something I want new, and then I'll take it away from something I already pay for, and then I'll want to watch it. So I project maybe February, March next year I'll be buying HBO Max or starting to subscribe to HBO Max.
Let's hope it's January 1st. 2021. That'd be.
That's a good starting point. That's a good starting point. Go ahead and pay that
January 2nd, 2021. Let's go.
Yeah. But yeah, man. Y'all got anything else you want to say
next year?
Do you guys think Henry is dead for good, or
I
do you
do.
think he may come back?
I do. I think that
I
is
don't
a
see a
story
body
arc
he'll
that
come
brings his father to the good side. Go ahead, Chris. Sorry.
No, that's fine. I don't see a body. He's liable to come back.
True.
Or he's like in his dad's head or something weird. You know what I mean?
There we go.
That's a good way to do it. Yeah.
I like how he had
taking a
enough
page out of
time to
Jericho.
squish him. He had enough time to get out all his last words, though. I did like that right before they dropped the thing on. He's like, "I'm really sorry," and he had all his apologies out before he held it off there. So that was nice.
And he did totally do that to Yolanda. Just so you know, he admitted it. It was his fault. He did it. So.
Yeah.
We're
We're glad he's dead now.
Yeah, exactly. He got what he deserved.
I guess I didn't catch that. I thought we were like, oh well, it's still not his fault, but I guess that was him saying he did do it.
Well, he admitted. He was like, "I'm sorry for what I did." So I mean,
yeah, I didn't know
feel
if that meant
what he did.
perpetuating or
See, that's what I was
They
thinking.
could have been sorry for not standing up, or sorry for
Then
actually
why
doing
wouldn't you
that.
say that? Like,
Really?
if you were in that position, and you wanted to be looked at as innocent. Why wouldn't you
Because
say,
he died
"I'm sorry that I
42
didn't stand up and say
nanoseconds
this
maybe because he
happened"?
felt like it was just as bad because he didn't do anything about it. I don't know.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I'm
that's
just
my
trying
logic.
to make
That's a good
Henry
point,
seem
yeah.
like a better person.
I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's very possible I'm wrong. I mean, I'm really never wrong.
And he's a
on
kid
anything,
too.
but
Yeah.
it's very possible it could happen. When some law of averages says I'll be wrong at some point in time. You know.
Right.
Just watch my typing.
That's what we all say.
But yeah, y'all got anything else you want to say about Stargirl? It's been a great episode, great show. We got a few more episodes going this week, or not this week, but this season. And I'm excited to see where it goes in the future. Hopefully CW doesn't... I don't want to talk trash about the show. Hopefully CW doesn't CW this. And,
Yeah.
and
Don't
they get too
CW
long
it.
and strung out. Put it that way.
Bastards.
Too long and strung out.
Yeah.
Because I love a lot of the CW shows. I really do. Just some of them are just way too
Long and drawn out.
Way too long. So
Yeah. There's a lot I haven't caught up on, and I want
I'm
to, but
so
it's just
behind.
such a commitment.
right.
It's like a part-time job,
Right.
really trying to watch all those shows.
You're committing an
I never
entire
finished
day
Legends.
of 23 hours to watching a show. Yeah, it's
Hey,
almost impossible.
hey, at least you can catch up and watch because they ain't coming back till next January, so you got plenty of time.
True.
Yeah, that's very true. Plenty of time.
Sad but true.
Look at Chris with a glass half full of COVID. Look at that.
I want a glass half full of COVID.
Not a glass half full
Exactly.
of COVID. Yeah, man. All right, cool. Well, y'all, that's all I got for tonight. Did y'all have anything else y'all wanted to bring up, talk about? We've been talking for a long time about a lot of different things.
Yeah.
I want to go home.
I want to go home.
Oh wait, you're there.
Like one step to my bed. Yeah.
Good deal.
I'm excited.
I got to work in the morning.
Listen
So
to the
I
vodka
agree.
stream.
Cool. Well, all right, well, let's go ahead and get out of here. Nathan, where can they find you at, buddy?
You can find me co-hosting on Star Wars Alliance every other week with Katie on the Geek Ultimate Alliance Network, and you can find me on Twitter at WobblyBoots85, and here on Friday nights hanging out.
Nathan, what is that week?
It's the sexiest of weeklies and bi-weeklies, as we all know. As we all know.
I just felt like you never said that. And I was just like, what's going on with my buddy here?
Yeah. Something's wrong with Nathan. He didn't say that. That's right. I'm just going to go left to right here. Lisa, what's up? Sure. Where can they find you at?
Yeah, thank you again for having me on. It's such a blast, especially right now when nobody can like really hang out. It's like a hangout, and we get to talk about all the stuff we love.
There you go.
But you can find me on I Love That Movie, and basically just search that wherever you listen to podcasts, and you'll probably find it. And I'm on Twitter, and I'm on Instagram, ILTM Podcast, and I Love That Movie Podcast on Instagram.
Good deal. Lisa, you are always welcome here. As far as I'm concerned, you have basically ZetaTube access to any ZetaTube around the world to get here anytime you want to. Just hit us up. We love having you on. It's fantastic. Thank you so much for coming on. Chris, where can they find you at, buddy?
You can find me on Twitter at Chris Balga, and I've got Marvel Alliance. We've got a very, very packed show that's going to be recording tomorrow night with a special guest that's stepping for Mr. Travis Snell. So we'll be recording tomorrow night, and it'll drop Monday. So despite Marvel not making a huge appearance, they definitely had a lot of stuff going on in SDCC the past 2 days. So we got a lot to talk about on top of outside of that.
Played Iron Fist.
What's that?
That's a big scoop. I said you got the guy that played Iron Fist to come on. That's
no, I got the
scoop.
I got Charlie Cox and.
Jeez.
You know, Tom Holland coming on. You know, we're gonna break
nice.
we're gonna break the news that Daredevil is making his dramatic return in.
You heard the preview here, guys.
Run Away from Home
next week.
I like how Nathan didn't even know his name. He said, "You got the guy who played Iron Fist." Like,
yeah. Iron Fist. So you can follow that on Twitter at Marvel A Podcast, and then I've got World's Finest True Believers at Finest Believers. This week, new episode with new guest Adam Lawson. He is the showrunner of Escape the Night on YouTube, longest running show on YouTube original, most awarded, and creator of the 8th comic book. We are looking at the Saga of Swamp Thing, the first 7 issues of Alan Moore's illustrious run.
Nice.
That'll drop on Wednesday.
Very, very nice. Can't wait to listen to that. Sarah Taylor, where can they find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at Melody Kitten. You can also find me on Instagram under the same handle as well. Tuesday nights, you can kind of find me lurking in the chat room for the C3 Panthers podcast.
Yeah.
That's lots of fun. Not a whole lot of news there at the moment, but it's starting to get a little more interesting.
We still find something to talk about for like 2.5, 3 hours at least every Tuesday.
Well, it's still fun stuff to chat about. It's right. Kind of random, but it's there.
That's right.
And then also, I enjoy hanging out with you guys on Friday nights. So you can find me here as well. So that's about it.
There you go. And last but not least, T-Bone, my homeboy, my tag team partner, champions of the world. How you doing, buddy? Where can they find you at?
Get a room.
You can find me on Twitter at Travis_156. You can drop me a line and we can chat about pretty much anything. I do DC Alliance and superhero discussions, both with Greg, Tuesdays and Fridays. I guested on a podcast on Wednesday. You'll hear that drop in about a month. A person may or may not be on this call. And I also have a guess of who the co-host for Marvel Alliance is, but I'm going to hold that to myself and wonder if I'm right about that. I'm really excited to listen to that one, Chris. It'll be weird actually not hearing you with Snell. I'll kind of be like waiting for him to come in for the first 20 minutes, I think.
Yeah, where he's going, I don't think he's going to have that access as he thinks he does. So
where he's going, he doesn't need podcast.
Right.
But yeah, that's where you can find me. You can get a hold of me. And thanks for listening to any of the podcasts I do.
Yeah, good deal. And for me, you can find me at the BatDaddy52 on Twitter. I do a lot of different shows. I'm a podcast whore, but proud to announce
just
that I
such a
love
slut.
I am. I
Such
really
an
am.
audio
Just,
slut.
look, if you want me to be on a show, just ask me, and I will make it work. I'm just telling you right now, I will make it
For
work.
free.
But, for free.
For free.
Exactly. But yeah, like Travis said, man, we do DC Alliance podcast on Tuesdays, superhero discussions on Fridays. I do C3 Panthers podcast on Tuesdays. Me and Travis Snell just started a Batman podcast, and it's monthly, but it's still an awesome show. Find me every Friday on Super Civil Servants podcast. I'll include most of those handles in the show notes, but I'm everywhere, man. So if you don't want to hear me, good luck, because there's only a million other podcasts out there without me on it. So you got to hear me at least one time, right? But I'm all over the place, man. I like to talk about a lot of stuff, and very big into fan interaction, very big into meeting new people, very big into making new friends. So anybody who's listening to the show, give us a like, give us a share, communicate with us. If you want to come on, hit me up. We can definitely make it work.
Review.
Yeah, do it.
Rate,
review, stars,
review, all that
thumbs,
good stuff.
all that good
we
stuff.
We love it. We actually got a few more reviews on Apple Podcasts, which is pretty cool. We were at like 8 for the first year. Now we're like a year and a half into it, and we have 12. So how about that? There you go. Apple Podcast. But yeah, check us out, man. And we drop the show. I try to drop it every Tuesday.
Whenever you feel like it.
But it's honestly whenever I feel like, because I forgot about it until today, yesterday. Yeah. So I dropped last week's yesterday. Thanks. But I try to get out there every Tuesday. But if you don't see it Tuesdays, check us out on Fridays, live, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on YouTube. That's right. And we're here. All my friends, all the guests. It's fantastic. And we love talking about this kind of stuff. But y'all, I got nothing else to say. I'm out. I'm floundering right now. I'm just looking for stuff to say. I'm just talking. So let's go ahead and get out of here. Thank y'all so much for coming on. And I'll see probably all of y'all next week. Keep pounding.
Stay safe.
Bye, guys.
Now I gotta go this and hit that.
All right, guys.
Nathan, don't
That's the
look
most
up.
important one
Don't
right there,
look
so
up
the
Ray